Our national anthem here from Blankenship Field. We're just a few minutes away from the start of this ball game. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Riverdale Warriors. As we mentioned, the Wildcats have never beaten Riverdale. The Wildcats are 0-5, including the last couple of years. In fact, this is the third consecutive year. Both teams have reached the Final Four in the state. In the last 2 years, Riverdale has beaten Oak Ridge 17-13 here at Blankenship Field 2 years ago, and then last year the Wildcats losing at Riverdale 42-28, as I believe by the sound of the Oak Ridge crowd, the noisemakers down below, the train whistle is blowing, the Wildcat is roaring. The Wildcats must be beginning to make their way down the steps.
Well, they are, David. What an electric atmosphere. You know, we've had some big games here throughout the years, but it seems like it's been a while. I know 2 years ago when Riverdale came here, it was a big game. Had a couple big games against Farragut, but there's something a little different about this one. We were expected to win those ball games. This one, we're not, and I'm anxious to see how this Wildcat team will come out and show up ready to play.
Riverdale's senior captains are already across the field. The Wildcats captains tonight will be Spencer Gulmire, Tyler Trent, Josh Whaley, and Ravel Coffey. The rest of the Wildcats will veer to the right, and with the exception of the seniors like Riverdale, the rest of the seniors will be captains tonight's ball game. Riverdale getting ready to run onto the field. They're massed over by the scoreboard over to our far left on the opposite side of Jackson Square, while the Wildcats are coming down the steps here at Blankenship. Oak Ridge and Riverdale. The rivalry only goes back to 1993. Since those years, Riverdale has been the most dominant team. Nothing against the Maryville Rebels. Riverdale has been the most dominant team in the state of Tennessee, essentially at the highest levels of football, as the captains are strolling out to the center of the field. As I mentioned, the captains for the Wildcats, Whaley, Trent, Coffey, and Gulmire. And about 4 huge guys wandering out there for the Riverdale Warriors, including, let's see, Tamar Butler, a Mr. Football candidate, along with number 78, Rory File. It looks like number 4 was there as well. Michael, maybe not. We'll have to check some of these other numbers. Very hard to see. It was, let's see, number 20, Philip Stevenson, and one other man. Their numbers are going to be hard for me to read, and I'm old as it is anyway, so it's hard enough for me to see. But Scott's got his binoculars here as the officials are discussing things. Tamar Butler is the other captain. These officials, and I don't know if this is good or bad, they are from Knoxville officiating this ball game. Generally, you get officials from way off when you get to the semifinals, but they came over about 15 miles, and they'll be officiating the ball game. And if the Riverdale fans are told that, they might not be too happy about that, as the toss of the coin has been made. And let's see, the Wildcats have won the toss, and we'll see what they elect to do. Scott, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I know there's a whole lot of people. I'd say, what do you think, 10,000, 11,000 people or so here, and Oak Ridge has won a toss. They decided to take the ball. It looks like they will indeed take the ball, and we're getting ready for football here.
It's kind of a waiting game right now. Riverdale's yet to run onto the field. The Wildcats have yet to come down the steps. They're going to wait to see who can wait the longest. Coach Stevens told me he's willing to take a penalty to let the other team see him actually walk down the steps.
Well, we've seen that before. I can't remember. I know we did it one year when I played. We came out late and got a penalty, and I believe it was 80, what'd you say, 81 against Farragut, I believe, that Oak Ridge took a penalty. So wouldn't be the first time. It looks like Riverdale's decided to come out on the field as they walk onto the field, not run on the field.
At least the officials are standing on the OR, so that's protected tonight. It's a huge Riverdale sign, an arrow, kind of an arrowhead with an R in it. Their colors are all white pants, all white jerseys, gold helmets with that burnt orange, kind of a goldish kind of color, as they jump up and down, far away from the OR as they possibly could be, as the Oak Ridge band is playing the fights on down on the field, and here they come towards the OR. The officials are standing there, but they're not going to make their way, as the officials will keep them from going out to the center of the field, although you can tell they want to be out there.
Absolutely, and you can tell they're fired up. You know, it's a big game for them. When you look at the way this season shaped up, I don't think it's anybody's surprise that these two teams are meeting in the semifinals. To me, it's kind of a shame that these teams don't get to play a chance to play in the finals, but that's not the way it was drawn up, and I'm sure the Ridgeway and Ravenwood have something to say about that as well.
Just an enormous crowd here at Blankenship Field. The lower section, the upper section on both sides of the field is full. The bank to my right is totally full. The line is still down on Broadway there to buy tickets just to get into the stadium. So there's going to be several hundred people. They're not even going to see the kickoff of the ball game, and you know, I guess maybe elected to wait to buy their tickets later and wait to come out in the cold until the very last moment as the Wildcats are coming down the steps. We're about to have football for you here on AM 1290 WATO. The Wildcats are wandering down the steps here. They'll be getting behind the Oak Ridge sign. The band is continuing to play the fight song. Riverdale has brought nothing but a pep band here to support their Warriors. The winner to play for the state championship next Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State University. And the Wildcats haven't been there since '91. The Warriors are trying to get back for the 6th consecutive year.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, I guess they won the last 2 years, and they've had a great team, had a great program. But I believe Oak Ridge this week tonight is really going to be in for a fantastic football game. They're going to have a game of their lives tonight, I believe.
I tell you, the atmosphere is just absolutely fantastic. The crowd on the Riverdale side, they're probably the most vocal crowd we've had here this year. They're standing and jumping with their band. You know, you're successful. You know, you get used to it, and you're a little cocky, as Scott has said, and the Oak Ridge fans very, very excited. But like I said, it is extremely cold here at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats are completely down the steps now, and they're about to run onto the field. Riverdale's had to play the waiting game, waiting for the Wildcats to get down on the field. And hopefully the officials will have a little bit of patience as the Wildcats are massed behind the sign, being held by the cheerleaders to our right, and they're about to come onto the field here at Blankenship Field in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Wildcats trying to advance to the state title, and here comes Oak Ridge. Probably tell by the Oak Ridge crowd, they are on Blankenship Field, and we're just moments away from the kickoff of this ball game. Oak Ridge and Riverdale here on AM 1290 WATO. Stanton Stevens, the head coach of the Wildcats, directing his team to the semifinals. The Wildcats advancing for the 3rd consecutive year, and let's see what they can do to get over the hump. The officials are going to have to wait the band to get off the field. Riverdale's been standing on the field for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Gary Rankin is the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, I believe now in his 16th season as the head coach, and what a great run he's had. I mean, not only have they won a lot of titles, they've been to the game a lot, they just have talent year after year after year.
You know, I was reading the paper, I think, or heard something. I forgot now how many years in a row that he has won 10 ball games. Is that like 14? I think 14 years in a row that he's won at least 10 ball games. That's impressive. Wildcats
are getting ready to take the field. Spencer Gulmire is going to be standing back to receive the kick. The Warriors will be kicking from left to right here, and as I mentioned, their numbers are going to be very hard for me to read. Scott's got the binoculars on. I believe there are only 3 windows open, so we get the Stout Fellow Award here tonight because the rest of the windows are closed here in the press box. But we're going to brave the elements tonight.
Well, and you mentioned about their jerseys. It's not that hard to read their jerseys, but the roster that they gave us, I don't have my glasses on, and these letters are little bitty tiny letters.
They're getting ready to kick off. As I mentioned, from left to right, the Wildcat senior is going to be stepping back. Actually, looks like Leonard Blair is back to receive the kick inside the 5-yard line. They've got Danny Paris and Spencer Gulmire on one side. Leonard Blair, this could be a treat for the Riverdale Warriors if Leonard gets an opportunity to kick. Let's see if they try to angle it away from Spencer. And this one's about set. The official gives the kicker the word, and this game is underway right now. Here's the kick. It's a pop-up kick, very short. It's going to be a fair catch signal for him made by Spencer at the 26-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Little pop-up kick, very short. The Wildcats will have pretty good field position to start the ball game. And the Oak Ridge offense is on the field. The center is Tyler Trent. The guards will be Alex Stewart and Eli Manning. The tackles will be Tyler Lane along with Josh Whaley. The Wildcats will bring in receivers Ravel Coffey and Alonzo Douglas. The quarterback is Connor Gulmire. The backfield consists of Spencer Gulmire at tailback, and the fullback is going to be Daniel Johnson. The tight end is Jordan Murray. First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats, moving right to left here, starting at their own 27-yard line. 2 receivers split out to the left for Connor Gulmire. The Wildcats looking at man coverage. Connor brings them up. First down, 10 yards to go. 5 men front, little quick pass. Ravel wants to throw it to Alonzo. Cranks it up down the field to Alonzo, and it's overthrown incomplete. Nice play to start things out. Alonzo got free, but was twisting and turning. Had 3 white shirts back with him. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go.
He did. They came out here, ran through that the little lateral pass. Riverdale gets it and throws it downfield, throws it toward the center of the field. I think if he throws it more toward the hash mark, Alonzo had at least the guy that was with him, had him beat. Could have been a huge play in this ball game.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats come up. 11:48 to play here in the first quarter. Connor Gulmire under center from the 27-yard line. 5-man front. The pitch will go to Spencer, trying to get wide. Cuts the ball across the 28-yard line. Gang tackled after about a yard or so by Eugene Gore of the Riverdale Warriors. It'll be third down facing the Wildcats. Third down, then about 8 yards to go. 11:31 to play. They've got 2 Mr. Football candidates on this team. They've got the running back Gaston Miller, 5'7", 165-pound senior, and they also have Tamar Butler, who is a stout-looking lineman. He's a candidate for Mr. Football on the line and for things for them. He's number 33, 6 foot, 205-pound senior. I formation Oak Ridge, 2 receivers split to the right. Third down, 8 yards to go. 4-man front. Connor Gulmire will pass. Has time, runs into a man, breaks a tackle, fires it to Riverdale Coffee. He makes the catch. First and 10, Wildcats at the Riverdale 45-yard line.
What a big play. It looks like they were going to try to run a little screen out here to Spencer, and the defense converged on him and couldn't get around. They saw some pressure and actually spun around and sees Riverdale Coffee. Big play once again in this ball game. Big first down. Oak Ridge now has the ball on, it looks like, the Riverdale 45-yard line.
10:55 to play here in the first quarter. Scoreless game from Blankenship Field. The crowd is still all the way down to Broadway here at Blankenship Field. First down, 10 yards to go from the 46-yard line. Connor Gulmire fumbles the snap and has to fall on it and just barely got back to it. Pulled away from the center, and that hasn't happened much this season. It'll be a loss of a yard or two, and Connor very fortunate that he was able to pounce on it. It'll be second down and about 11 yards to go. You were a backup quarterback, and in weather like this, I don't know if you ever got to play in cold weather like this. Does it make it more difficult to take the snap?
It does, and that's one of the things, you know, you lose a lot of the feelings in your hands. Of course, you know, I didn't play when they had gloves and heaters and stuff like that, but your hands get cold. It's hard, especially to get that snap.
Second down, 11 yards to go. The Wildcats from the eye. Connor's going to pass again. Pass is caught by Riverdale Coffee. Breaks the tackle. 30, 25, 20. Riverdale Coffee, touchdown Oak Ridge! The Wildcats take the lead. 10, 12 to play in this first quarter. 6-0 Oak Ridge.
Wow, what a play. They just ran the quick little out. The Riverdale catches it going to his right, and he just sees a little seam and outruns the secondary to the end zone. And the one thing now is Connor's a little banged up on the play. He wasn't excited, didn't do a whole lot of celebrating, walked straight off the field, and he may have had a hurt hand or something, but looks like he's going to be okay.
Ryan Kennedy to attempt the extra point. 10-12 to play first quarter. Ball is down. The kick by Kennedy is up, and it is good. 7-0 Oak Ridge. We haven't played 2 minutes. The Wildcats on top of Riverdale. 7-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Ever.
All right, come on, defense.
Ryan Kennedy to kick off for the Wildcats. These were the Warriors, number 1, Gaston Miller.
David Clary, Scott Munger back here. Darren Creek, our engineer of the station. Jay Karen, our statistician tonight. Oak Ridge on top of Riverdale, 7-0. 10-12 to play in the first quarter, and the Wildcats getting ready to kick it off. We're about to see the Gaston Miller show here in a minute. He's the third Mr. Football finalist, along with the Ravenwood quarterback and Spencer Gulmire. Riverdale Coffee calls for the Oak Ridge crowd. Wildcats march down the field and score. I don't think they have one running play the entire drive as Oak Ridge Kennedy kicks it off. hits it well. Gaston backs up to the 5, behind the wedge to the 10. Boom! He's blasted down behind the 20-yard line. Casey Reed or somebody just came down there and annihilated the wedge.
It was Casey Reed once again. They had a big wedge set up. They had maybe 6 players on that wedge, and Casey Reed comes in there and just blasts his guy and just gets a piece of Gaston Miller's. He's going up the field.
Wildcat secondary will include Connor Gulmire, Revell Coffey, J.J. Wells, Danny Paris. The linebackers are Daniel Johnson, Jake Vane, Paul Bingham. The Wildcats have Jordan Murray, John Baldwin, Tyler Trent, along with Josh Whaley. Handoff goes to number 37, cuts inside, moves the ball up the field, and is tackled at the 25-yard line after a gain of about 5. It'll bring up second down and about 5.5 yards to go for a first. 9:55 to play. We're in the first quarter. 7-0 Oak Ridge on top of the Riverdale Warriors. Paul Bingham and Josh Whaley there on the stop for the Wildcats. The handoff went to number 37. That is Antoine Smith, 5'11", 154-pound senior. He's a fantastic player. We talk about Miller a lot, as they're going to split out 2 receivers to the right for the Riverdale Warriors. The quarterback for them brings them up. Man comes in motion. Second down at a long 5. Handoff fullback. He's in the secondary, but only gets the ball to the 30. It'll be third down and about a yard to go. The stop is made by Jake Vane of the Wildcats. The quarterback, or the linebacker, the running back was Kit Hartsfield. The quarterback for the Riverdale Warriors, as he'll bring his team up. They need about a yard to go for it first. As I said, it's hard for me to read the numbers on their jerseys. The quarterback is Scott Thomas. He is the brother of Dave Thomas, the Mr. Football candidate and winner a year ago. He's under center, hand it to the tailback. He gets into the secondary, cuts to the outside, moves the ball up the field for a first down and more, and brings the ball close to midfield. Tackled at that point, and the ball carrier picks up a first down. Gaston Miller, we've talked about his quickness. He is so fast. Revell Coffey is there for the stop along with Paul Bingham, but not before it's 1st and 10 for the Riverdale Warriors. Jordan Murray out there as well. Gaston Miller is so quick.
He is very quick. He's only listed, I think, at 5'8", maybe 155 pounds, but it is all quickness. He gets the ball going to the edge, sees a gap, spins, darts, and picks up about 16, 17 yards for the first down.
Ball is at the Oak Ridge 48-yard line. They're moving left to right here. Once again, they'll split out a couple receivers here to the right. Single running back for Scott Thomas. First down, 10 yards to go. Hands it off to the back. Boom! Hit by John Ball when he bounces off that tackle and gets into the secondary. J.J. Well grabs him. Wildcats hit him in the backfield. Did not wrap up. And it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Riverdale.
Yeah, John Baldwin had beat his man and made a great collision in the backfield. Just couldn't quite wrap him up. And then Miller sees a little daylight to the outside, picks up another long gainer for a first down.
8:19 to play first quarter. The Wildcats scoring on their opening drive. Riverdale marching the ball down the field. They're inside the Oak Ridge 35-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 8 minutes, 15 seconds to play the first quarter of this semifinal round ball game from Blankenship Field. The crowd is still down to Broadway trying to buy tickets and get into the field here. People standing all over the field, all over the banks. First down, 10. Thomas rolls to his right, runs the ball up the field, moves the ball forward for another first down. Not very fast. He doesn't look anything at all like his brother. Scott Thomas is the quarterback, 6'1" and 170-pounder, and not nearly as fast as his brother, but quite effective with a run. It's 1st and 10, Riverdale.
Well, they faked the option, and the quarterback came up, and it looks like the defensive end went up the field to take the pitch, man, left the big gap open for the quarterback to run it, picks up right at 10 or 11 yards for another first down. I believe that's 3 in 3 plays.
First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top, 7-0. 7:39 to play first period. Thomas brings him up once again, 5-man front for the Wildcats. I formation, handoff, tailback, boom! He's blasted at the line of scrimmage. This time, Gaston Miller. His legs cut underneath from by the Wildcats' Danny Paris. It'll be for Riverdale. No gain on the play. It'll bring up second down and about 10. Tyler Trent there on the assist. Actually, Gaston might have lost about a yard. It'll be second down and 11 yards to go. 7:13 to play first quarter. 7-0. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top. Oak Ridge trying to beat Riverdale for the first time in school history. Very excellent program at Riverdale High School. Been in the state championship 5 years in a row. 2 receivers split to the right, single man to the left, single running back. Quarterback Thomas wants to pass. Has time, fires a pass, dropped. Could have been caught by Tamar Butler. I believe it's Tamar Butler. He dropped it. Defending was Spencer Gulmire, Danny Paris, Paul Bingham. It was Antoine Smith, the intended receiver, number 37. I don't know why I said Butler. I'm thinking Mr. Football here. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Here comes a big play in the ball game.
Well, it is, and this is the one thing Oak Ridge wants to see them throw the ball. They don't throw the ball very well and throw the ball very rarely, and when they do, actually a lot of things go wrong for them. They don't catch the ball very well. Oak Ridge has got to get them in long downs so they can force them to throw.
Receivers left and right. Quarterback to pass. A lot of trouble. Sets up the screen. Pass is caught. Danny Paris and company blast him at the line of scrimmage. Wildcats, Spencer Gulmire makes a stop out there. The Wildcats read that perfectly. They were setting up that little inside screen. The Wildcats stayed at home. It'll be 4th down and 9.
Looks like they're going to go for it, David. I don't see the field goal kicker coming in right here. This will be a big play in this ball game. Great job that time by the lineman for Oak Ridge as the quarterback just kept retreating. They saw red screen and didn't pursue the quarterback, got back into Pertain, and now it looks like they will kick a field goal, which will be about a 39-yard field goal.
On the left hash, they'll attempt the field goal. 7-0 our score. The kicker for them is Shane Rollins. They're going to fake it. Wildcats are staying at home. Running back trying to get wide. He is blasted behind the line of scrimmage. And the Wildcats, Connor Gulmire drops him back at the 30-yard line. And the Wildcats will take over 1st and 10.
Great play that time by John Baldwin. He read the fake, didn't pursue the kicker, and stayed his ground as they flipped the ball back to the return guy over here. He did a great job of pursuing the return guy. Cuts in front, and Connor Gulmire finishes off. What a huge play in this ball game.
The Oak Ridge offense back out on the field. 1st down, 10 yards to go. They'll start the drive almost at the exact same spot of the field they started the opening drive. The Wildcats split out Rivell Coffey and Alonzo Douglas to the far right. Daniel Johnson is the fullback. Spencer Gulmire the tailback. 1st down, 10 yards to go. 7-0 Oak Ridge. Spencer Gulmire, big hole. He breaks free into the secondary. Runs over a man at the 45. Down to the 47-yard line. Ran smack dab over Shane Rollins. And one of the players is down on the play for the Riverdale Warriors, Tamar Butler. And he comes limping off the field for the Riverdale Warriors. Spencer Gulmire flat ran over one of those Warriors as Shane Rollins was the man who ate turf as the Wildcats have it 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
What a great run. They just ran the simple isolation play straight up the middle of the field. Huge hole that time by the Oak Ridge line, and Spencer does this thing, but big on this play, Tamar Butler, all state, all everything, has just gone out to the sideline with an injury.
Wildcats will come up 1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 48-yard line. 5 minutes, 47 seconds to play, 1st quarter. 7-0 Oak Ridge. A little problem with some equipment they're attending to. One of the Riverdale Warriors having a little equipment problem. He's ready. Wildcats will come up 1st down, 10 yards to go. We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. Connor Gulmire rolls to his right, wants to pass, cranks it to Alonzo Douglas. Touchdown, Oak Ridge! The Wildcats score! Oak Ridge has put 6 more on the board, and they lead the Riverdale Warriors 13-0 with 5:31 to play in the 1st quarter.
You know, Gaston Miller was actually covering Alonzo Douglas, and as the ball was being thrown, I looked up and he was on the ground. Alonzo just put a great move on him, perfectly thrown ball, big play once again to put Oak Ridge up by 13 points.
5:31 to play 1st quarter. Ryan Kennedy to attempt the extra point. 13-0 Oak Ridge. 5:31 to play 1st period. Here's the snap. The hold. The kick by Kennedy is up. It is good. 14-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds.
He just slipped on the
Ryan Kennedy to kick off for the Wildcats.
I know that.
Deep for the Warriors, number 1, Gaston Miller.
14-0. Oak Ridge on top of the Riverdale Warriors, and once again Oak Ridge preparing to kick off here. 5:31 to play, first period. Ryan Kennedy will be kicking from right to left. The Riverdale crowd is enormous here. A lot of people standing on the bank, and I haven't seen that since the Central game of 1990. As the Wildcats, Kennedy prepares to kick off. Revell's got the crowd generating noise once again. Here's the pop-up kick over to the right side. A fair catch is signaled for and made by Riverdale at around the 27-yard line. And that is where the Riverdale Warriors will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. 14-0, and it's been the Connor Gulmire show here early on, over 100 yards in the first quarter.
Wow, that last play, just a thing of beauty, and did not see what happened to the defensive back, Gaston Miller, in that play. He obviously slipped. I don't know if it was a move that he made or just, whatever, they got tangled up. But Alonzo Douglas wide open for the touchdown.
Once again, the Riverdale Warriors come up, first down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 29-yard line. Quarterback for them is Scott Thomas. First down, 10 yards to go. Two receivers split to the right. They're offsides. Hand off to the back anyway. Tries to get wide, moves the ball down the field. No place to go except to the ground. Dropped at the line of scrimmage. Looked like the right tackle or end jumped off sides, but there is no flags on the play.
I didn't see it. I was looking at the binoculars, and one of the guys for Oak Ridge, may have been one of the defensive linemen, came in, got a hand on Gaston Miller's foot, kind of held on for a little bit, didn't allow him to get outside. You can tell Miller, he just likes to get it and go just immediately go outside when he gets the ball.
The winner of this game will play for the state championship next Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State University. It's second down, 9 yards to go. 4:50 to play, first quarter, 14-0 Oak Ridge. Scott Thomas back to pass, wants to throw, in a lot of trouble, breaks one sack, moves the ball forward for only a gain of 3. It'll be third down and about 7 yards to go. Once again, he held on to the ball for a long time. Scott Thomas got a lot of pressure from Jordan Murray and John Baldwin. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go.
I think that was a design play. I looked down as the quarterback. He faked the draw first of all, and then he came back and started the pass. And I looked down as the receivers. They were jogging. There were not one of those guys that were running full speed, which leads me to believe that was a design play the whole time.
Two receivers, actually 3 receivers split out to the right as they move from left to right. 14-0 Oak Ridge. 4:07 to play, first quarter. Third down and about 5 yards to go. Quarterback on the option to the back, moves the ball forward, moves the ball across the 40. Danny Pierce tackles him, but not before he picks up a first down. Got the ball out to around the 46-yard line. Gaston Miller on the carry. And it'll be first and 10 Riverdale. 3:55 to play, first quarter. The Wildcats, I think, have only run one rushing play, two rushing plays the entire 2 drives they had the ball, and they've put 14 on the board. Riverdale has it first and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Wildcats substituting Leonard Blair out of the ball game. Back in the game will come Alex Stewart. They'll split out a single man forward to the left side. That'll be Marcus Locke. 2 receivers out that way, 1 to the right here. I formation, first down, 10 yards to go for Scott Thomas. Back to pass again. Pressured, throws the ball up for grabs. Revell copy, picks, no, it's batted away. I thought Revell was going to intercept it. Wildcats had great coverage. If they want to throw down the field like that, throw it up for grabs to Revell, that's going to spell some doom for them later on in the game.
Absolutely, Revell had a chance to pick that off, did a good play, made a great break on the ball. But I remember last year's game, actually Revell tipped the ball up. And last year's ball game, they catch that and go in for a touchdown. So maybe our luck is going to change in this ball game.
3 minutes, 23 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter, 14-0. Wildcats on top. Once again, they'll split Locke off to the far left, along with Antoine Smith. Works the ball out to the 45-yard line. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Thomas hands it off to Gaston Miller. Miller, boom! He's blasted by Jake Vane of the Wildcats after only about a yard gain. It'll be third down, 9 yards to go. Jake hit Gaston and blasted him to the turf. Wildcats on top, 14-0. As I mentioned, the winner will play either Ridgeway High School or Ravenwood High School. That game is taking place in Brentwood tonight. Kevin McKeithen will be out there, and we'll have the updates from that game as soon as it gets underway. It's in Central Time, of course, as the Wildcats, once again, 4-man front. Riverdale, 3rd down and about 7 yards to go. 2 receivers to the left. Scott Thomas hands it. No, he's going to pass it. Across the way, pass is going to be batted away by, oh no! J.J. Wells defending. They're going to call pass interference. Looked like to me, oh, is that the case?
They're all the Oak Ridge players are clapping. It's got to be on Riverdale. I can't think of what in the world that was. Maybe the receiver pushed off right there at the end or something, but all the Oak Ridge players are clapping.
Let's see if they're clapping at the official signal pass interference on the offense. And the Wildcats have stopped Riverdale. It'll be 3rd down. Now it's 4th down, and they bring the punt team on the field. They went for a fake field goal before. I don't think they're going to fake now as they're down 14-0. 2:36 to play, first quarter, here from Blankenship Field in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You're listening to the game live on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. It's offensive pass interference. They're going to step the yardage, put the ball back down at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of down as well, so they get yardage plus the down.
I couldn't figure exactly what happened, but immediately I thought that maybe they called that on JJ, but he timed that perfectly, and no way in the world that could have been defensive pass interference. But I'm trying to figure out how it was offensive because he was trying to catch the ball, so it may have been on one of the other receivers somewhere.
Lavelle Coffey standing back at the 40-yard line. Riverdale to punt. 2:33 to play, first quarter, 14-0. Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of the Riverdale Warriors. Riverdale punting from the 16-yard line. Here's the snap. It's high. He's got it and punts it. It's a high kick, not very long. Angle, it's going to take a nice bounce. And he got very fortunate as the snap was so high, and the punter is an athlete as well. He got up and speared a high snap, and the Wildcat offense is going to take over about the same area on the field they were before. This time they'll start at the 30-yard line.
Wow, any more higher, David, that thing gets over his head because the big athletic punter, left-footed punter, he comes down with the ball and gets it off in a hurry. Not a great kick, but it has a great bounce. Looks like Oak Ridge takes over just inside of the 30-yard line.
Former head coach Bruce Lucier will be joining me at halftime of this ball game. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. 2:23 to play, first quarter, 14-0 to score. Wildcats come up from the I, 2 receivers to the left. Wildcat handoff to Spencer Gulmire. Spencer moves the ball to around the 34-yard line, gain of about 4. The Wildcats on top, 14-0. Of course, Oak Ridge hasn't been to the state championship game since 1991. Riverdale is there every year. Hey, finally the line to buy tickets is now completed as the bank is totally full, Scott. It is just an enormous crowd here. People standing on the far bank over there by the scoreboard. It's the biggest crowd we've had in I can't remember how long.
It's a great crowd. You know, I was down on the field earlier and just saw letter jackets from Clinton and Anderson County and Loudon, and actually saw Coach Courtney here. So just players from all over wanting to see this fantastic game.
Second down, 6 yards to go. The pitch to Spencer Gulmire. Needs some blocking. Has some. Moves the ball forward, and then a flag comes in. And gained about 3 on the play and got his bell rung at the end of it. Might have a hold call against the Oak Ridge Wildcats. We're here at Blankenship Field. 1:35 to play. The officials discussing things down on the field. It is going to be illegal block against the Wildcats. And so they'll be penalized here. The Wildcats have brought big numbers. The Riverdale Warriors have brought big numbers. You know, you think that after all the success they've had that maybe they start to say, oh, ho-hum, it's another semifinal round game. They are supporting their team just like it was their first semifinal.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I really didn't think they'd bring that many people here. I'm very surprised at the amount of fans they brought. And, you know, one of the things we were talking about, the 2 number 1s and the career stats between Gaston Miller and Spencer Gulmire are absolutely, they're identical. I mean, just about identical in every manner. So, you know, I don't know if they've already voted on that Mr. Football. You got to give it to both these guys. I mean, there's no way that one of these guys deserves it over the other. Monday
we'll know who the Mr. Football is as the Wildcats come up, penalized big time. It's second down, 23 yards to go. Once again, handoff goes to Spencer. Tries to break a tackle, just not one to break there. Runs right into the teeth of the defense. The Wildcats, as the stop is made by Eugene Gorey, 6'3", 240-pound junior. They've got some big kids, let me tell you. Down to 1:10 to play, first quarter, 14-0. The Wildcats, Oak Ridge on top. The Wildcats got a lead against Riverdale last year, if you might remember. Then turnovers and just some strange, quirky plays hurt the Wildcats, and Riverdale took the lead at halftime. Oak Ridge on top in this one, taking a little time here as one of the Wildcat head coach, Coach Stanton Stevens, is going to call for a timeout. 46 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Let's take a break with them. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds. Thanks for tuning us in on Oak Ridge Schools Television, Channel 15. One of tonight's sponsors of Oak Ridge High School football is Ray Viles Ford. Ray Viles and the entire staff congratulate the Wildcats for making it to the semifinal round of the playoffs. We know that hard work pays off, and at Ray Viles Ford, we will work hard to earn your business. Remember, at Ray Viles Ford, you deal with the man whose name is on the sign, Ray Viles. Thank you for letting Ray Viles Ford of Clinton be such a great part of a great program and a great season. The proud sponsor of our broadcast here on Oak Ridge Schools Television, Channel 15.
You call Paul, he might remember. Paul's down at the concession stand helping his sister.
No. Back here on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television, Channel 15. 46 seconds to play first quarter. 14-0, Oak Ridge in the lead. Connor Gulmire to pass. Floats it down the field to Alonzo Douglas. Pass is incomplete. Looked like he kind of got held up, but not enough to warrant a penalty. The Oak Ridge fans thought so. The Wildcats will be forced to punt for the first time. Pass was intended along the Oak Ridge sideline. It's incomplete, and the Riverdale Warriors should get good field position. The Wildcats will be punting from inside their own 5-yard line. Ryan Kennedy will punt the ball at around the 3-yard line. It is 4th down and 24. Big penalty on the illegal block hurt the Wildcats. The Warriors should get it around midfield. Good snap. Ryan's kick is away. Got a nice wobbly kick. In fact, it's a great kick. Backing up and taking a great Oak Ridge bounce, and will roll dead all the way back at the 38-yard line. Great kick by Ryan Kennedy.
Was a good kick, and Ryan's been a little bit inconsistent here. Hasn't got the pump, but maybe, 16, 17 times all year. But that time he got a great kick off, a little bit of pressure. Good kick, maybe turned some field position over here as Riverdale takes over on their own 38-yard line.
14-0, the Wildcats on top. 29 seconds to play in the first quarter as we broadcast from Blankenship Field. Two receivers split to the left for the Warriors, moving left to right here. Gaston Miller is the tailback. Quarterback is Scott Thomas. First down, 10 yards to go from the 38. Little quick pass out here. Ball carrier makes the catch, but he's not going to go anywhere. He is belted behind the line of scrimmage on that screen pass. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The stop is made by J.J. Wills, and that perhaps is the final play of the first quarter. 14-0 is our score. It will be the final play of the first quarter. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to our engineer, Darren Creek. We'll be back with the second quarter. Oak Ridge on top, 14-0, back in 60 seconds.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Again, if you have a score, you can give one score, maybe, or 2.
Clary back here along with Scott Munger, Jay Karen, Darren Creek, our engineer back at the station. Camera personnel Josh Murray, Michael Davis, Brian Solmonson, Taylor Lane. The Wildcats on top 14-0. The second quarter about set. Riverdale has his 2nd and 10. The ball at their own 38-yard line. Scott Thomas, the quarterback. Receivers left and right. Flags are down. Flags are down on the play. We'll check this call. Going to be some infraction against the Warriors. Illegal procedure. 5-yard step off against Riverdale. Riverdale team from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they are the defending state champions and just an outstanding program. They're being directed by Gary Rankin. Been there about 16 years, and he's been to the state title ball game, I think 10 of those years. 11:58 to play in the first half. Oak Ridge on top 14-0 as the Warriors come to the line, moving right to left here. Second down, 15 yards to go. Backfield split. The tailback is Gaston Miller. He's going to Vanderbilt, is already committed. Scott Thomas rolls to his right, looking to pass, feeling pressure, sacked! He throws a pass the other way, intercepted and dropped by Jake Vane. All Jake had to do there basically was catch it, and that's a touchdown. Very poor decision on the part of their quarterback, as Jake Vane, the big linebacker, was there. 6 points in his way, couldn't hold on to it. It'll be third down at 15. That was a big, big play. That would have been just perhaps the turning point of the ball game.
Wow, what a huge play. Oak Ridge had him sacked back there at the last minute. Thomas just kind of throws a Hail Mary up, but Jake had to run a long way and just couldn't hold on to it. What a big play that would have been.
Third down, 15 yards to go. Four-man front once again. Quarterback rolls to his right. Here's the option. The Wildcats are in position. He's running backwards. Boom! He's blasted behind the line of scrimmage again. The Wildcats will force Riverdale to punt. Yet another time. It'll be fourth down at about 16 yards to go, and the Wildcats will be getting the ball back, and Riverdale Coffee will be standing back at the 50-yard line. The Oak Ridge dark side defense has come to play tonight.
They've come to play a lot of nights, David. The only time they didn't come to play, they had a half. They took off against through the wall. Other than that, this defense, the dark side, has been stellar all year long.
Fourth down, 15 yards to go. Riverdale Coffee standing back at the 40-yard line, 14-0. Punting. Got a wobbly kickoff, and Riverdale's not going to get a chance to field it. The Wildcats are going to have great field position. He says it went out of bounds at around the 42-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. I guess they've been scouted that old number 2 doesn't need to be returning punts, and they just kick it away from him.
Absolutely. I wouldn't kick to him. That's one thing, and I wouldn't kick to their guy either. You know, you've got some fantastic athletes. This is a big possession right here in this ball game. Oak Ridge, if nothing else, you know, make this a field position game, get a couple first downs, and keep the ball in their end the whole rest of the game.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 41-yard line. Oak Ridge moving left to right here. Riverdale Coffee splitting out to the right. Daniel Johnson, Spencer Gulmire in the backfield. Single receiver to the left. Connor wants to pass, has time, breaking down, goes down the way to Alonzo Douglas. He makes the catch at the 25-yard line at Riverdale. First and 10 Wildcats.
You know, I tell you, Alonzo Douglas has been the X factor here. You've got the athletes. You've got, look at one side, you've got Riverdale Coffee. You've got a great tight end in Jordan Murray, and you've got a fullback and receiver. But as he has stepped up his game, so has the offense stepped up for Oak Ridge.
10 minutes, 55 seconds to play second quarter, 14-0. Oak Ridge on top. Connor Gulmire is on fire tonight with his passing, and the offensive line giving him plenty of time to throw as Jonathan Brent comes into the ball game now for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. On the line for Oak Ridge. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. 10:37 to play here in the first half. 14-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats at the Riverdale 25-yard line. Connor Gulmire drifting out. John Baldwin wide to the right, and the Wildcats will be forced to call a timeout. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 30 seconds. Thanks a lot, Darren. Appreciate that. The Wildcats have it first down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the Riverdale 25-yard line. 14-0 Oak Ridge in the lead. 10:27 to play first half. Pitch will go to Spencer Gulmire. Not a lot of running room. Trying to get wide. 25. Lowers his shoulder. Is pushed out of bounds at around the 22-yard line. Very, very hard by the Warriors. It'll be a gain on the play of, I don't know, about 3 yards or so. And a lot of celebrating on the Oak Ridge sideline as Gulmire goes crashing out of bounds. It'll be 4, and there might be a penalty at the end of the play. Illegal procedure against Oak Ridge before the play ever started. And the flag went down right at the 25-yard line. So it'll be a 5-yard step off against Oak Ridge. 10:17 to play second quarter. 14-0 is our score. The Wildcats scoring on 2 long pass plays, if memory serves me correct here. One to Alonzo Douglas and the other to Riverdale Coffee. We'll have a complete scoring summary at halftime and a look at the stats as well. 5-yard step off against the Wildcats back to the Riverdale 30-yard line. Wildcats have it. First down, 15 yards to go. Connor Gulmire, quarterback for the Wildcats, over to talk to Stanton Stevens, the head coach of the Wildcats, who also calls the plays. Wildcats come to the line, which is the Riverdale 30. 10-17 to play second quarter. 14-0 our score. The Big Ed's Pizzas have arrived here in the press box. First down, 15 from the 30. Connor brings them up. I formation once again. The pitch will go to Spencer Gulmire. He's got blockers this time. 30, 25, 20. Spencer Gulmire down to the 18-yard line. Got about 10 yards on the carry. Great call that time as Tamar Butler makes the stop for the Riverdale Warriors. The Wildcats will have it. Let's see. Second down and about 4 yards to go for a first down. Nice run that time. Their whole right side of the line just opened up an enormous hole for the Wildcats to run through. Coach Miner is fired up in the booth next to us. It'll be the ball moved to the 18-yard line. It'll be second down and about 3. 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter. The Wildcats on top 14-0. The ball's at the Riverdale 18. Here comes Oak Ridge to the line. Moving left to right here. Daniel Johnson, the fullback. The tailback for the Wildcats is Spencer Gulmire. 9:50 and counting. Tyler Trent, the center. Connor hands it to Daniel. Daniel, no place to go. Going down. That's the only place he had to go because he was belted. Stop is made by Ladarius Verge for the Riverdale Warriors. It'll be a loss of 2. Second down, 5 yards to go. 9:29 to play here in the second quarter. 14-0 Oak Ridge on top. Alonzo Douglas and Ravel Coffey re-enter the game for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge getting Jonathan Brent out of the ball game. Now he's staying in. The Wildcats will be also, let's see, breaking the huddle as everybody's out. Brent and Baldwin are out of the ball game. Oak Ridge comes to the line. Third down, 5 yards to go. Perhaps 4-down territory down here at the 20-yard line. Connor brings them up. 2 receivers to the right, I formation. Connor rolls, looks, has time, now runs it, moves the ball forward. He's going to be tripped up and hit late at the end of the play. It'll be fourth down at about 4. And I say you go for it here, Scott. The Wildcats are inside the 20-yard line as the stop is made by Caleb Harris. Down to 8:43 to play. It'll be fourth down at about 3. Perhaps they're in Ryan Kennedy field goal range. They're going to bring Ryan onto the field to get some extra points.
Absolutely, I agree. 4th and 3. You know, if it's 4th and 1, maybe you go for 4th and 3. They're bringing Will Hudson in to try the field goal, which will put them up 17-0.
This will be a 36-yard attempt. Wildcats, 4th down and 4. Will Hudson, a sophomore, hasn't kicked in a few games. 8:17 to play second quarter, 14-0. Long snapper is Casey Reed. The holder is Jason Lewis. Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is no good. Under the crossbar. Kind of surprised they didn't bring in Ryan Kennedy to kick that one right there, but they went with Will Hudson, who's a very good kicker in his own right. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Riverdale with 8:05 to play in the second quarter, 14-0. See if the dark side defense can stop the Riverdale Warriors once again. The Wildcat defense on the field. The Wildcats have in the secondary the Ravel Coffey along with Connor Gulmire, J.J. Wells, and Danny Paris. Wildcats have at linebacker Troy Venable, Jake Vane, Paul Bingham, and now timeout is asked for by Riverdale. We'll take one with them. The Wildcats on top, 14-0, back in 60 seconds.
What's he upset about?
Blast the back behind the 10-yard line. It's a huge loss on the play. I didn't get to see the whole play. I was working on something. It's a loss of about 20.
But David, they ran the option to the right side, and the quarterback immediately got some pressure from the defensive end on that side. I'm not sure if it was Murray or Baldwin, and he pitched the ball quickly. As he did, he made a bad pitch, and the minute that Gaston Miller picked up the fumble, I believe there was 2 different Wildcats in there and smashed him for about a 10-yard loss.
20 It's second down, 20 yards to go. The ball's at the 10. 3 receivers split to the right for Scott Thomas. 4-man front for the Wildcats. Thomas hands it off to the back. He tries to move the ball forward and does. Got the ball to around the 14-yard line. Paul Bingham makes the stop after a gain of about 5. It'll be third down at about 15 yards to go. Troy Venable also there on the stop. 7:08 to play, second quarter. 14-0. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of the Riverdale Warriors. The nose of the ball right at the 15. Riverdale moving right to left here. It'll be third down, 15 yards to go. This Riverdale team uncharacteristically making a few miscues, something we've never seen them really do against us before. 2 receivers split to the right. Gaston Miller at the tailback going to Vanderbilt. Fullback directly in the I formation. Miller rolling the pass. Fires the pass. Jake Vane in pursuit and can't quite make the catch. And they've got a first down into the secondary. Danny Paris makes the catch at around the 36-yard line. Jake was in pursuit. That time he rolled to his right that time, had some time, dumped it. Nice play for the Warriors. 1st and 10.
It was, and we had them maybe about 3 yards short of the first down. Jake Vane, your best tackler, just couldn't quite hold on as he slides free. Now they have the ball on their own 37-yard line.
6:28 to play. We're in the second quarter. 14-0. Oak Ridge on top. Here comes Riverdale to the line once again. Scott Thomas with an offset eye this time. 2 receivers split to the left. 1st and 10. The ball at their own 36. Thomas will hand it to the back and moves the ball into the secondary again to the 50. And is tackled finally at the 48-yard line. The ball carrier that time was Kid Hartsfield, 6', 195-pound senior. That is a gain of about 13 or 14 yards. 1st and 10 Riverdale. Ball is inside Wildcat territory. Ball is resting at around the 47-yard line of Oak Ridge. 6 minutes to play, second quarter. 14-0. The Wildcats on top. Riverdale and the Wildcats, the first meeting 1993. The Wildcats and Warriors have played each other the last 2 years. Up to the line will come Riverdale. 3 receivers split to the right for Scott Thomas. Lone running back. Little screen pass. Out here is going to be caught behind the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats tackle him. Great coverage again by the Wildcats. I think that's Paul Bingham out there to make the stop for a loss of about 2.
What a great open field tackle that time, Paul Bingham. They just run that little flare pass out there, and it's almost immediately as soon as the receiver catches the ball, Paul Bingham is out there and makes an outstanding tackle for a loss of 1.
Josh Whaley comes out of the ball game now for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge has Alex Stewart in there. Wildcats have Tyler Trent. Oak Ridge has John Baldwin and Jordan Murray. It'll be second down, 11 yards to go. 5:12 to play first half. 14-0 Oak Ridge over Riverdale. 4-man front, Oak Ridge. 2nd and 12. Handoff tailback, big hole momentarily, then he drops him. Troy Venable tripped him up first. He was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, move the ball to the 45-yard line, where it's now going to be third down and about 8 yards to go as Jordan Murray also in on the stop. Leonard Blair now checks into the ball game for Oak Ridge. Alex Stewart is going to check out. 4:45 to play second quarter. Wildcats on top 14-0. Stanton Stevens, what a great job he has done in his first year as the head coach of the Wildcats, getting Oak Ridge all the way to the state semifinals. We'll be talking to his predecessor, Bruce Lucier, at halftime. Third down, 9 yards to go. Quarterback rolling. Going to pass. Fires a pass. Dropped at the 40-yard line. Hartsfield, the intended receiver. John Baldwin giving pressure to Scott Thomas. It's 4th down and 9 yards to go. I think you have to punt. The dark side has done it again.
Well, it looks like they had a little bit of momentum there. They got the big first down on 3rd and 13 or so, and then they got another first down right after that. Here is 3 plays and out as the punting unit for Riverdale comes back on the field. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe a chance to fake it here. 4th
down, 9 yards to go. Scott Thomas is their punter. The man dropping back to receive it is Revell Coffey inside the 20. 4th down and 9. Here's the snap. Here's the punt. End over end kick. Revell fields it and runs with it. Has a wall. 25, 30. Revell Coffey, 35. Revell Coffey to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats will have great field position. Great return by Revell Coffey. I thought at first, if he stays outside, he might take it the distance. But they are so quick with their speed. This is by far the quickest team, obviously, we've played all season.
Oh, absolutely. They just have the athletes everywhere, especially those guys they're going to put on the punt coverage team are going to be their quickest, probably their best athletes. But now Oak Ridge got 60 yards to go. They need some points here. 4 minutes, 8 seconds left to go in halftime. what a big momentum this would be if they end up putting some points on the board here.
Ravel Coffey drifts off to the far left. Alonzo Douglas to the right. 14-0 Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go at the 40-yard line. Connor Gulmire rolling, handing it to Spencer. Spencer moves forward to around the 44. Of course, you know, we've had some games with them in the past and other big games where we've made mistakes at the end of the half and given them a little momentum boost, even if they don't score any points, just to contain them and not give the ball up, and the Wildcats go to the locker room up 14, but to me would be a victory as well.
Well, it would be, but I tell you what, I sure wouldn't. 17 or 21 sounds a whole lot better.
Here come the Wildcats, second down about 7, 3:39 to play second quarter as we play here at Blankenship Field. Wildcats with the offset eye, Leonard Blair in at fullback. Wildcats have Spencer. Here's the handoff, Leonard. Leonard moves the ball for a gain of about 4, maybe 5. Got the ball to the 49-yard line where it'll be second down and a third down and about 2 yards to go. 3:19 to play first half. Oak Ridge on top, 14-0 as we play here at Blankenship Field, the state semifinals. The other state semifinal round game will be kicking off in about 9 minutes in Brentwood, Tennessee. Kevin McKeithen is there. He'll be keeping us updated on that ball game. The winner to play for the state championship on Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State. Third down, 2 yards to go, about 1.5 yards. The ball's at the 49-yard line. Wildcats, 2 receivers to the right. Connor Gulmire hands it to Spencer, blasted in the backfield. He'll lose yardage, and they're going to get the ball back here. The Wildcats will have it fourth down at about 3. Chad Hunter there on the stop, and the Wildcats will be forced to kick. And you would have liked to have seen them move the chains and get a first down there. The Wildcats have had the outside, or have been able to move the ball at times through the air, but they haven't gotten a little bit more conservative here in the last second quarter.
Well, they did, and that time Riverdale just came on a stunt, and they stunted exactly right into the play. Good call by the defensive coordinator for Riverdale.
Fair catch asked for and made at the 20-yard line. So Riverdale has 2 minutes, 11 seconds to work the ball 80 yards down the field and try to get back in the ball game. Obviously, they're in the ball game. It's only a 2-touchdown lead for the Wildcats. The Oak Ridge defense has been superb here in this one. They have shut the Riverdale Warriors out to this point. Riverdale has it first down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20-yard line. What a lot of fun has been this year to have all 4 playoff ball games here at Blankenship Field. The crowd has really had an opportunity to really enjoy the Wildcat team, and what an enjoyment it has been for us to watch them all season long. First down, 10 yards to go. Riverdale short some players. They have to use one of their timeouts, and that's a big mistake by the Warriors. We'll take a quick break with them. 14-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 30 seconds. Back here on AM 1290 WATO, the Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top 14-0. 2:11 to play here. The Warriors having to use their second timeout. They've got one left. The Wildcats have one as well. 2:11 to play. Second quarter action. 14-0 Oak Ridge. Wildcats took the opening drive and scored. Riverdale getting ready once again. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 20-yard line. First and 10. Quarterback is Scott Thomas. He'll hand it off to Miller. He's blasted in the backfield. Wildcats drop him once again. This time it was Jordan Murray for the Wildcats. It'll be second down and about 10 yards to go. Under 2 minutes to play first half. 14-0 the Wildcats on top. Gaston Miller is so small. He is so quick, though. They list him at 5'7", 165 pounds, and this is nothing against him. If he can go to Vanderbilt, Spencer Gulmire can play someplace.
I agree wholeheartedly. Spencer is twice the ball player, is a lot more durable than he is as well.
Second down, 11 yards to go. Thomas to pass, crossed away, incomplete. Third down, 11 yards to go. Kind of a quick pass that time, intended out here to Locke. That is number 5. Well, his name is Marcus Locke. You might remember his brother, Eric Locke, who was their quarterback, Mr. Football twice, played at Alabama, played at Tennessee, got in a little bit of trouble. But, you know, obviously the Locke family is like some of the families we have here at Oak Ridge.
Absolutely, and you hear some of these names, and Eric Locke, what a ball player he was. Big play in this ball game, David. If Riverdale doesn't get a first down, wouldn't be surprised if Oak Ridge were to take a timeout and maybe get the ball back here.
Third down, 11. The Wildcats creeping up on the line. They want to pass. Pass is caught out of the backfield, and he moves for a first down the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at around the 33, and they'll have it first down, 10 yards to go. We're on AM 1290 WATO. Minute 25 to play second quarter. 14-0. J.J. Wells knocks him out of bounds. The Wildcats playing with, let's see, On the field, Danny Paris, J.J. Wells, Revell Coffey, Connor Gulmire, Leonard Blair's in the ballgame, now replacing Josh Whaley. Tyler Trent's in the ballgame. Troy Venable, Jake Vane, John Baldwin for the Wildcats. Riverdale, first down, 10 yards to go. Ball at their own 33-yard line, a minute 25 to play second quarter. Scott Thomas brings him up. Receivers left and right, four-man front. Thomas rolls to his right, wants to pass, feeling pressured. Boom! Blasted by Oak Ridge. Flags are down in the backfield. It'll be no gain on the play. A flag went way down in the backfield, back at the 22-yard line. I don't know if the quarterback got grabbed by the face mask. We'll have to check this call. Quarterback was in a lot of trouble. It's holding Riverdale. So that'll be a penalty against them. A minute 14 to play second quarter. 14-0. We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. Remember, Coach Bruce Lucier, former head coach of the Wildcats, will be up to talk to me at halftime. We appreciate you listening to our broadcast, and tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Ray Val's Ford, and the Ray Val's, the entire staff of Ray Val's Ford in Clinton congratulates the Oak Ridge Wildcats on making it to the state semifinals. They have been with us all season long on Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and we appreciate Ray Val's for helping us out on Channel 15, proud sponsor of tonight's ball game. It is now 1st and 30 as the ball is moved back all the way down to the 12-yard line. A minute to play here in the first half. Scott Thomas with the backfield split, cranks it up and fires it. Pass complete, and the catch is made at the 20. The stop is made by Connor Gulmire. 52 seconds to play. The receiver is Monty Newsom. It'll be for Riverdale. Second down and about 20 yards to go for a first. 42 seconds to play. The Riverdale Warriors will receive the ball first in the second half, and I would love to have one of our camera guys in Coach Rankin's locker room at halftime to see what he says to his guys. 14-0 Oak Ridge. 30 seconds to play. I formation for the Riverdale Warriors. Second down, 20 yards to go. Perhaps the final play of the first half. Scott Thomas back to pass. Cranks it up down the field. There's the receiver. That's offensive pass interference, and there is no call. I guess they assumed that the catch was not going to be made, but Connor Gulmire got a shove in the back right in front of God and the whole world here at Blankenship Field, but no call.
I agree. If anything, that's got to be offensive pass interference. They didn't call it. But I'm a little surprised right here that they would still be throwing the ball. If it's me and I'm Riverdale in this situation, go at halftime, you're down 14-0, don't make any mistakes. You know, a play like that could easily be intercepted, and I really expected to see a draw or a little flare pass out here to Miller.
The winner to play for the state championship Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State University. 14 seconds to play first half. 14-0 Oak Ridge. Three receivers split to the left. It'll be third down, 24 yards to go from their own 24. This time the handoff goes to the back, cutting out to the outside. Up the field, he's tackled, picks up a first down with 5 seconds to play. Gaston Miller moves the ball to the 45-yard line, so they'll have enough time for one Hail Mary play here as the Wildcats lead it 14-0. He goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Riverdale. 4 seconds showing on the clock, and Coach Rankin wants to talk about it. Scott, a good first half of football for the Oak Ridge defense. They, to this point, shut out. Of course, there's still 4 seconds left. The Riverdale Warriors. The Wildcats put 2 quick scores on the board, and so far, so good right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and to be perfectly honest, I will not be happy until I hear the final buzzer go off. These guys are just so scary, have so many athletes. I feel decent, you know, being up 14 points, but I tell you what, I sure would like to have 21 or even more up on the board. These guys can score easily. The defense has done a great job, and Miller's a player, but you know what, David, I agree with exactly what you said. If this kid can play at Vanderbilt, can play in the SEC, there's room somewhere for Spencer Gulmire. I'd take our number one over their number one any day of the week.
4 seconds to play. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 45-yard line. 14-0 Oak Ridge. Wildcats trying to get back to that state championship ball game where Riverdale has lived for the past 10 or 12 years. I formation, first down, 10 yards to go, and flags are down automatically, and I think they lined up offsides. I believe big number 8, that's number 8, lined up offsides. He did. Lined up offsides, and you kind of have to wonder about that. This is the defending state champions. You line up, and you have to look where the ball is. He had his foot over the ball. It'll be first down, 15 yards to go. He drifts out wide to the left once again. 4 seconds to play. Wildcats playing deep center field with their secondary, 4-man front. Thomas back to pass, cranks it, up for grabs. The Wildcat defender falls down. Boom! The ball is caught, but it won't matter because the first half is over. The Wildcats lead the Riverdale Warriors by a score of 14-0 and a standing ovation for the Oak Ridge crowd. Some 5, 6, 7, 8,000 of them standing as the Wildcats head to the locker room. Ryan Kennedy's getting ready to kick off the second half. One of these two teams will be advancing to the state championship game. The other will end their season in the cold here at Blankenship Field. Wildcats senior place kicker has the ball down on the tee. Looks like he's just going to try to pop it up, and he does. Towards the middle part of the field. Fair catch is signaled for and made at around the 22-yard line, and that is where Riverdale will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. I heard what you said earlier. You will not be secure until the horn goes off to end the ball game. These guys are so scary looking, especially Gaston Miller is so quick. He's not the big bruising back like Spencer Gulmire is, but he's so elusive, and he'll split out far to the right side as we start play here. First down, 10 yards to go. 11:59 to play, third quarter, as they split out two receivers, single running back. Handoff goes to the back. He breaks the tackle and moves the ball forward for a gain of about 5. He should have been dropped in the backfield for no gain. It's Kit Hartsfield carrying the ball. The stop is made by the Wildcats, Paul Bingham and Josh Whaley. It'll be second down at about 5 yards to go. The Riverdale Warriors are a running football team, obviously. I guess they can throw the ball. Scott Thomas definitely not as elusive as his brother was, for sure. Dave Thomas, Mr. Football a year ago, but still a very capable quarterback. It'll be second down, 4 yards to go. 4-man front for the Wildcats. Receivers left and right. The pitch will go to the tailback deep in the backfield, trying to get wide, cuts up the field and moves the ball forward. For fumbles in, the Wildcats have it. Oak Ridge has recovered the fumble at the 37-yard line. It came popping out of there. The Wildcats get it at the Riverdale 38-yard line. So the Wildcats get a turnover away from the guys from Murfreesboro. Coming up with it, Danny Paris. The Oak Ridge offense is on the field. First and 10.
Well, that's exactly what this team needs, David. Now, if they come out and score, it forces Riverdale to start throwing the ball a lot, and that's something that they are not comfortable doing.
Wildcat offense on the field, led by the junior quarterback, Connor Gulmire. The ball is resting at the 37-yard line. The Wildcats had an opportunity towards the end of the first half to get points, missing a field goal. Wildcats would love to go up 3 scores here. First down, 10 yards to go. The fullback is Daniel Johnson. The tailback is Spencer Gulmire. Connor Gulmire under center, Tyler Trent will drop back to pass. Screen pass out here to Spencer is incomplete. Just a little bit quick that time, and that is something we haven't really seen a whole lot of. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 11:09 to play. Wildcat line, let's see. The Wildcats have Josh Whaley and Tyler Lane. They are the tackles. The guards are Alex Stewart and Eli Manning. Tyler Trent is the center. The Wildcats on top, 14-0. 11:09 to play here in the third quarter. Ball is at the 37-yard line. The Wildcats moving left to right here. 14-0. Oak Ridge on top. Here comes Oak Ridge, moving the ball towards the Jackson Square end zone. Up 14-0. Once again, Connor under center. Once again, he passes, this time to J.J. Wells. J.J. at the 30, moves the ball forward. It'll be third down, though, and about 3 yards to go. First time in a while J.J.'s been a part of the offense. Kit Hartsfield, J.J. kind of has not been the featured receiver with the one of the featured receivers with the emergence of Alonzo Douglas. Good to see J.J. back on the offensive side. Third down and about 2 yards to go.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's been a while since we've called his name out on the offensive side, but he is a very capable receiver, and that time came up with a reception of 8 yards.
Ball is at the Riverdale 29-yard line. Third down at about 3. The Wildcats were in this situation earlier in the ball game, couldn't pick up the 2. Here's Spencer carrying it. He's got more than that. He's got a first down across the 25-yard line down to the Riverdale 20. It'll be first and 10. Oak Ridge, the Wildcats on top of the Warriors, 14-0. 10:21 to play. Third quarter action here in Blankenship Field. The Wildcats trying to move on to play either Ridgeway or Ravenwood for the state championship next Saturday night. The Riverdale Warriors trying to defend their 5A title, won last year against Franklin, as the Wildcats come up with Jason Lewis drifting off far to the left. Leonard Blair is in at fullback for the Wildcats. It's an offset I. 10 minutes to play, third quarter, 1st and 10. Leonard Blair with a handoff moves the ball forward for a gain of about 3 or 4 yards before he's stopped by Ladarius Verge. It'll be for Leonard a gain of about 3 yards. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. 9:45 to play, third quarter. The ball is at the Riverdale 17-yard line. Jay Karen, our statistician. Michael Davis, Josh Murray, Brian Salmonson, Taylor Lane, our camera personnel. Darren Creek at the studios. Kevin McKeithen is at Ravenwood. Connor will hand it to Daniel Johnson. Daniel Johnson moves the ball forward. Tripped up at the last minute as he moves the ball to the Riverdale 13-yard line. The stop is made this time by Jason Wilson. It'll be 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Caleb Harris also there on the stop. The Wildcats keeping it on the ground. Need some points right here. It's 3rd down and about 1.5 yards to go.
Absolutely. A touchdown would be great, but right now a field goal would be okay. It puts you up 3 scores.
I formation, Oak Ridge. Daniel Johnson is the fullback. Connor hands it to Spencer. Spencer at the 10. Spencer at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats moving around the right side of the line. Great blocking once again. 1st and goal. Spencer comes up holding his thigh, but he'll be fine. 8:51 to play, third quarter. It'll be Oak Ridge, 1st down, goal to go at the Riverdale 6-yard line. Oak Ridge and Riverdale, the first meeting took place in 1993. Wildcats are 0-5 in the series as Jason Lewis splits out to the far left. Wildcats come up, 1st down, goal to go. Connor Gulmire under center to Spencer. Spencer hit at the line of scrimmage, has no place to go. Hit it around the 6-yard line. The stop is made by number 6, Spencer Wilson. 8:26 and counting. Every time I play, I look at the clock here because it can't go fast enough.
You know, I agree. It seems like it just all these plays are taking forever, but there's still a whole lot of football game left. But man, you just wish you could kind of fast forward that clock every now and again.
No gain on the play. 2nd down, goal to go. The ball's at the 6. Ravel Coffey drifts off to the far left. The Wildcats come up. Connor Gulmire's the quarterback. Daniel Johnson and Spencer Gulmire behind Connor. Connor rolls to his left. Looks to Ravel, has some time, is going to run it. 5-4, dives to the 3-yard line and goes out of bounds. Set a flag in the middle of the field there, right around the hash mark. There is. That's usually holding. We'll have to check the call here. He got the ball inside the 5-yard line. The flag went down right at around the 7. Wildcats could ill afford to have any holding right here. It's going to be the official coming over. Illegal block again. The Wildcats have done that twice in the ball game. The last time it really cost them. 14-0 Oak Ridge. 7:50 to play here in the third quarter on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. Stepping the yardage off against the Wildcats. Penalties will kill you. Turnovers will do the same. The Riverdale Warriors giving the ball to the Wildcats. Now Oak Ridge is going to have to make a big play here. Ball's put back all the way at the 22-yard line. You don't want to get out of field goal range. I don't know who made that block, but that's the 2nd time in the ball game we've had that called. Of course, different associations call things, and they see things that others don't call. And, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad call. You just don't see it much.
I just didn't know that was a 15-yard penalty. I thought only a personal foul was but they marked it back 15.
7:50 to play in the third quarter. Wildcats have it. 2nd down, goal to go. The ball's at the 22-yard line. Connor, short drop this time, across the middle. Ravel Coffey, 5, cuts outside, cuts back inside, down to the 3, down to the 2, down to the 1. 3rd down, goal to go for the Wildcats to the 1. Ravel Coffey, beautiful pass by Connor Gulmire. Nice run at the end of the catch by Ravel. It'll be Oak Ridge 3rd and goal at the 1.
Big play coming up here, but that was a big one as well. Second and 22, and they pick up a 21. They run a quick slant, and then once Ravel gets it, great open field runner, makes a lot of moves, and gets the ball down to the 1-yard line. Oak Ridge has got to protect the ball, put it in the end zone on this play.
Daryl Miller comes in as a receiver for the Wildcats along with J.J. Wells. Down to 7:07 to play, third quarter. The Wildcats have it at the Riverdale 1-yard line. 3rd down, a goal to go. Oak Ridge comes from the I once again. Connor Gulmire, under center Tyler Trent. Connor will roll to his left, looks, fires. Daryl Miller can't make the catch. 4th down, goal to go at the 1. I think Connor might have been able to run it in, but now it's decision time for Coach Stanton Stevens. Obviously in field goal range, and he wants to think about it. 6:49 to play, 3rd quarter, 14-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds. Back here at Blankenship Field, the Wildcats are going for it. The Oak Ridge crowd is going nuts. 4th down, goal to go at the 1-yard line. Wildcats come up, 6:49 to play, 3rd quarter. Oak Ridge up 14-0. Connor Gulmire under center. The handoff to Spencer. He dives forward. I think he scores, but no signal. They're going to say no. He is denied the touchdown at the 1-inch line. So the Riverdale Warriors hold. Kind of surprised they didn't run it on 3rd down as well, but Wildcats have got them pinned up at the 1-inch line, and the Oak Ridge defense, and that's a big momentum shift for Riverdale as they hold out the Wildcats.
Well, it is, and I mentioned earlier, I thought maybe they should have run that play, maybe they do that same play twice, and you think you're going to get in. They elect to maybe catch them off in surprise and do that little pass, but nonetheless, Oak Ridge Riverdale's got 99 yards to go for a touchdown.
6:43 to play, 3rd quarter. Scott Thomas brings him up. His backfield is in the end zone. Handoff goes to Miller, hit at the 2-yard line, moves the ball forward for about 3. That's Gaston Miller carrying the ball, 5'7", 165-pound senior, headed to Vanderbilt next year, a candidate for Mr. Football along with Spencer Gulmire. Daniel Johnson is there for the stop for the Wildcats. He got the ball to the 3-yard line. It's 2nd down, 7 yards to go. It's definitely been a field position battle as the Wildcats lead it 14-0. I'd like to say hello to Aaron Vargas listening to us on prepradio.com all the way down in Florida. Our statistician, wish you could be here. 2nd down, 7 yards to go for Riverdale. The ball's at the 3. Handoff to Miller once again. Now the quarterback's rolling, fires a pass, incomplete. Wildcats made good contact. Scott Thomas got belted by Jake Vane. I thought he handed it off to Miller, but it's going to be 3rd down and 7. And, you know, Riverdale, you'd think they would just want to try to run it out of here, get a little bit more field position. If the Wildcats stop them right here, the Wildcats are going to have great field position again.
Absolutely, a big play for them. The last time couple last times they've had some 3rd downs, seems like they converted it, but they need to hold them where it looks about to the 11-yard line to get them from getting the 1st down.
6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter, 14-0 Oak Ridge. Scott Thomas, the Riverdale quarterback, brings them up. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. 4-man front, receivers left and right, hand off to the back, hit, blasted in the backfield, he'll lose a yard. The Wildcat dark side closes down on the Warriors, and Oak Ridge is going to get the ball back once again. The defense has just been superb all season long. Riverdale just cannot move the football.
Absolutely, defense is playing great. Be nice to get really good field position here, but Oak Ridge has got to score here, David. They've knocked on the door. This is the 3rd time they've knocked on the door and come away empty.
They'll be punting from the back end of their own end zone here. 14-0 Oak Ridge. 5:28 to play. Here's the snap, the punt. Oh, man, it is absolutely terrible, but it's going to take a good bounce, but still the Wildcats will have good field position at the Riverdale 42-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats need points. 5:15 to play, 3rd quarter. Oak Ridge on top, 14-0. Trying to make it to the state championship game for the first time since the 1991 Wildcats won the state championship. Wildcat offense on the field once again. 1st down, 10 yards to go. 5:15 to play, 3rd quarter. Packed house here at Blankenship Field. All 4 playoffs have been here at Blankenship, and I know the fans have enjoyed that. We've enjoyed not having to travel, but we will look forward to traveling if indeed we are playing next Saturday night. Connor Gulmire brings them up. The Wildcats coming up very confident to the line. Oak Ridge has it. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats at the 42. Quick pass to Revell Coffey. 1 man to beat. Revell moves the ball forward for a gain of about 5 yards. Pushed out of bounds at around the 36-yard line. Wildcats up 14-0. Ridgeway and Ravenwood, don't know much about them. I talked to Coach Gaddis. Coach Gaddis played Ridgeway the first game of the season for him. And Coach Lucier said they scrimmaged Ravenwood, so 2 former head coaches might be able to give us a scouting report if indeed Oak Ridge is able to hold on.
Absolutely, and I think Ravenwood is a brand new school and actually is somewhere right there in Cool Springs, Franklin area, and you know that they're taking some of those Franklin athletes away. So obviously they've got a good program, young. I believe it's only 4 years old. So for them to make it this far, only being 4 years old, that's fantastic.
Their quarterback is the 3rd Mr. Football finalist. An official's timeout as play is halted. 5:08 to play. Aaron Vargas just sent me a text message. He is listening to us on Prep Radio down in Florida. Hopefully there are a lot of people listening to us wherever you might be. Thanks for tuning us in on WATO or Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. We'd like to thank Bill Shabbat. Bill Shabbat is a former Oak Ridger living in Florida now. Gave us a cash donation to up our amount of slots that people could listen to prepradio.com so we could accommodate just about anybody who wanted to listen. We appreciate him for helping us out. Second down at about 4. Spencer Gulmire moves the ball, but not very far. He is hit at the line of scrimmage. Really no place to go. It'll be third down at about 4. The tackle is made by Eugene Gorey. It'll be third down and 3. Short yardage situations have been tough for the Wildcats to pick up in this ball game.
They have, and you know, we've seen so many times that Oak Ridge has short yardage, and they've got a lot of different things they can do, and that doesn't seem like really a whole lot of those things work. But Oak Ridge right now, they've got to have 3 yards and just keep those chains moving.
And that clock ticking too as the Wildcats come up third down about 3. Rivell Coffey has single coverage out here to the right. Daniel Johnson's the fullback. Spencer Gulmire the tailback. Connor has some time to throw. It's breaking down. Now goes down the field to Rivell Coffey. Can't make the catch. It's incomplete. Heavy pressure that time and good coverage. And now it is fourth down facing the Wildcats. Fourth down and about 3 yards to go. The ball's at the 36-yard line. Do you gamble here? Once again, Riverdale hasn't been able to move the ball. I think you just make them have a long field to drive.
I agree. I think you punt it right here. Oak Ridge hadn't been real successful with the short yardage situation, as indeed the punting unit is coming back onto the field. Try to pin it back down there and do it all over again.
Ryan Kennedy's going to be punting from around midfield. They'll have a man back inside the 15-yard line. Fourth down at about 3. 4:19 to play third quarter. 14-0 Oak Ridge. High snap. Plenty of time to kick it. He kicks it end over end kick. It's going to go inside the 10, roll down at the 10-yard line and roll dead. That is where Riverdale will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Kind of similar to a Mac Johnson punt last year against Riverdale, which went all the way inside the 5-yard line. Now the dark side defense has got to do it once again. 4:06 to play third quarter. It's 14-0, and the Wildcats have had some opportunities. Riverdale's defense has really stiffened up.
Well, absolutely, and you can't rely on your defense to bail you out all the time. The offense has got to do something. A couple big plays here and there, and this ball game could be over, but can't let this good team hang around this long.
Scott Thomas, a quarterback, offset eye once again. He'll pitch it out to Gaston Miller, finding no running room, breaks a tackle, but not a whole lot because Jake Vane is able to stop him at around the 12-yard line. 3:57 to play third quarter and counting. The stop is made by Josh Whaley along with Vane. Be a gain on the play of 2. Second down, 8 yards to go. 3:45 and counting. 14-0. Oak Ridge on top. We're in the third quarter here at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats and Riverdale Warriors. The first game was in 1993. They beat Oak Ridge 28-0. In fact, that's the last time an Oak Ridge team has been shut out. That Riverdale game in '93. Second down, 8 yards to go. Scott Thomas brings him up once again. Hands it off to Miller. Blockers in front, trying to get wide. The Wildcats are trying to make plays. Miller gets to the sideline and is belted out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. That is a first down. That time he got outside. He had a bunch of big white shirts blocking for him.
Boy, he did, and I tell you, Paul Bingham did a really good job of, looks like for a minute he was going to push him inside. Gaston Miller did a little stutter step and still got to the sideline. Didn't make the big play, but picked up a first down.
Ball is put down at the 28, the Wildcats and Riverdale Warriors. It's interesting. I would have loved to play these guys on a regular season basis, but just so far to travel. The Wildcats in Oakland used to play in the regular season. These two teams have never played in the regular season. All 5 games have been the playoff ball games. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 28. 2 receivers split to the right for Thomas. Back to pass, rolling, looking, fires, pass, caught. And then the ball's fumbled, picked up by them, and they fumble it again. That is so similar to almost what happened to Oak Ridge last year. Remember, Oak Ridge created a fumble. The ball popped up in the air, was picked off by one of their players and taken for a touchdown. The same thing happened. He picked it up, but then got belted himself, and then he lost the ball. But it should be a gain on the play of 9. It'll be second down and a yard to go. 3:05 to play third quarter. They have moved the ball out to the 37-yard line, their own, as they come up to the line once again. Second down and a yard to go. Wildcats on top, 14-0 as we play here in the third quarter. Quarterback Scott Thomas hands it to Miller, and Miller moves for a first down and more, brings the ball to around midfield. 1st and 10 for the Riverdale Warriors, and you'd hate for their offensive line to start dominating up front here. They've got good yardage with Miller. It'll be 1st and 10, 2:57 to play third quarter.
Miller is quick, and he hits the hole he's like we mentioned before, he's not a very big guy. Matter of fact, by far the smallest running back that we've seen this year, but he hits the hole and is extremely quick, makes good moves laterally, and that time just lowered his head and picked up about 8.
Moves it up to the 47-yard line of the Warriors. First down, 10 yards to go. Thomas hands it off to the fullback this time, and he moves the ball forward for about 3 before he is stuck. For the Wildcats, Paul Bingham, John Baldwin. The Wildcats also had Spencer Gulmire in there. It'll be for Riverdale. Second down and about 7 yards to go. We're at Blankenship Field on AM 1290 WATO. Jay Caron's doing our stats tonight. Darren Creek's back in the studios of WATO. When we get an opportunity, we'll go back for an update for the Ravenwood Ridgeway ball game. We're coming down to 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. It'll be Riverdale, second down and 6 yards to go. Man comes in motion. Quarterback Scott Thomas from the eye, hands it to the tailback, and Daniel Johnson grabs him and drops him at the line of scrimmage. Big play by Daniel Johnson.
It was a big play. It looks like he had clear sailings to the sideline, and Daniel Johnson just stayed with him and brought him down for a gain of maybe about a half yard.
It'll be third down and long facing Riverdale. Eli Manning now coming into the ball game defensively for Oak Ridge. Minute 40 and counting, third quarter. John Baldwin's now checking out. The Wildcats have seen Riverdale move the ball across midfield. They have the ball on the 49-yard line, splitting out 3 receivers here to the left. Up to the line, Scott Thomas brings him up. Third down, 7 yards to go. Lone running back, Thomas, will pitch to that lone running back. He moves the ball forward for first down yardage. Just barely was able to get to the 42-yard line. That's Gaston Miller once again, 1st and 10. You know, we talk about how small he is, but he has a little power himself.
He does, and normally, or hardly ever, I guess actually I should say that one man doesn't bring him down. Daniel Johnson just did it, but they actually got him from behind, and it looks like it will be close enough for the measurements as they bring the chains onto the field.
Exactly 1 minute showing on the clock here in the third quarter. 14-0. All the scoring taking place in the first quarter. The Wildcats did it. 2 touchdown passes by Connor Gulmire. The Wildcat junior quarterback coming into the ball game had 1,594 yards this season. Needed 218 tonight to tie Mike Underwood for second place on the all-time list. Needed 229 to tie Scott McMahon for first place on the all-time single season list. 1st and 10 Riverdale. Ball's at the 43-yard line. 55 seconds and counting. Third quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. The Warriors have 2 receivers split to the right. Single running back. Thomas hands it to the back. Moves the ball forward, and Connor and company stop him after a gain of about 5. The offensive line for Riverdale beginning to get some running room for their backs. We're down to 35 seconds and counting. Gain of 5. And of course, as you mentioned, the defense has been out there quite a bit. The offense hasn't been able to get a whole lot going. It is since the first quarter. It's second down and 4. 20 seconds showing on the clock. This will probably be the final play of the third quarter. We're down to 13 seconds to play. Second down, 3 yards to go. Receivers left and right. 4-man front Oak Ridge. Quarterback hands it off to Miller, trying to get wide, and he's hit and dropped for a loss as the third quarter comes to a close. So our score after 3 quarters of football, 12 more minutes. One of these 2 teams will be advancing to play for the state championship. The Wildcats lead it 14-0. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in 60 seconds.
team hang around.
We still have a white canvas purse up here with the letter A attached. It's a cure. Come up and claim it.
Right, that's fine. Very quick.
Thanks a lot. We're back here at Blankenship Field. David Clary, Scott Munger. Final home game of the year. Final game for one of these two teams. Oak Ridge leads 14-0. Riverdale has it 3rd down, 4 yards to go. The ball is at the 37-yard line of the Wildcats. I formation for Scott Thomas. 2 receivers split to the left. Thomas under center. Hands it to Miller. Miller fumbles the football. It's on the ground. It's rolling free. Who's got it? Leonard Blair, perhaps. One of the Wildcats recovers. Oak Ridge has recovered it. Coming up, Riverdale. Coffee of the Wildcats. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. Big play in the ball game.
Big stick, and that's the 3rd or 4th fumble so far on the against the Riverdale Warriors. And that time, Revell Coffee comes up with a ball. Now Oak Ridge has got to do something with this ball, David. They need points right here.
Up to the line of scrimmage once again will come the Wildcats. 1st down, 10 yards to go.
1st and 10, Oak Ridge takes over on the 34-yard line. 2 receivers, 1 right, 1 left.
Thanks a lot, Scott, there. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats on top, 14-0. 11:54 to play in the ball game. Connor Gulmire to pass to Alonzo Douglas. Is overthrown, incomplete. He hasn't really thrown the ball since the 1st quarter, as that one's incomplete. The Wildcats on top, 14-0. I wonder when the last time, and I knock on wood as I say this, the Riverdale Warriors were actually shut out in the ball game. I'd love to know that stat.
I'd say it's been a while. You look at the offenses that they've had, and obviously they won 28, so I guarantee it's not 28 games ago.
That is their winning streak. They have won 28 consecutive ball games. Oak Ridge on top, 11:48 to play in the ball game. 14-0 our score. Receivers left and right, Daniel Johnson and Spencer Gulmire in the backfield. 2nd down, 10. Handoff goes Spencer, no hole. No place to go, but he breaks a tackle and cuts to the outside. He's at the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and he's tackled at the 35-yard line. A flag is down up here at the 45-yard line. The Wildcat running back had no place to go, was able to get outside, and is going to be holding against Oak Ridge. The flag went down at the 45-yard line. That's where the flag went down. And that's going to negate the best run of the night for Spencer Gulmire. I don't know how he stayed on his feet. He had no place to go, kept his balance somehow, and picked up a great run as they stepped the yardage back to the 35-yard line. 11:35 to play. Holding is the call against the Wildcats. How in the world does Spencer stay on his feet?
You know, David, I didn't even see it, to be honest. I thought he was getting tackled. I was going down to the lineup to see who made the tackle, and the next thing I know, I hear the crowd cheers, so I look up and see Spencer running down the sideline.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. The ball's at the 35-yard line. Oak Ridge moving right to left. Up 14-0 over Riverdale. Connor straight drop, feeling very little pressure. Here's the pass to Rivell. Rivell can't make the catch. Incomplete. It is now 3rd down, 9 yards to go. 11:13 to play. Just so much time left on the clock, and the Oak Ridge offense has gone no place since the 1st quarter. The Wildcats have it, 3rd and 9. You don't have to go deep all the time with the fade pattern. Wildcats have it 3rd and 9.
You know, one of the staples in the Oak Ridge offense has been the bootleg, and I don't remember them running it. You know, you run the bootleg, and normally you've got the guy in the flats that's open. Hadn't seen Oak Ridge run that all night. But the big thing, too, here, you want that clock to go down. These incomplete passes are absolutely killing the clock.
Ball is at the 35-yard line, 3rd down, 9. Wildcats have Daniel Johnson and Spencer from the eye. Connor, 4-man front, rolls, has time. Now runs, moves the ball forward. Connor Gulmire makes a move. He's got a 1st down at the 50. Makes a move and pushed out of bounds at the 45. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. Connor Gulmire made 2 absolutely fantastic moves. Picks up the 1st down for the Wildcats.
Well, I tell you what, he really did. Not only did he come up with a big play, he's moving the chains. That's what Oak Ridge did. This Oak Ridge offense has been in kind of a slump here in the last couple of times they've had the ball, but this time they got a 1st down and actually had the ball in Riverdale territory for the first time in quite some time.
10:59 to play in the ball game, 14-0. Oak Ridge, the Wildcats slow getting personnel, and Coach Stevens needs to call a timeout. And the very intelligent head coach of the Wildcats does that. 14-0 Oak Ridge, 10:49 to play in the ball game. We'll take a break, send it back to Darren Creek. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hey, I had trouble saying It's kind of fun, though.
Back here on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, 1st and 10 Oak Ridge at the Riverdale 45-yard line. 14-0 Oak Ridge on top. Connor will pitch to Spencer, cuts across the 40. Spencer Gulmire moves the ball forward to around the 37-yard line. It's a gain of about 6 yards. Wildcats pick up a big gain on first down. The Oak Ridge crowd has been into this ball game since the very beginning.
Well, you knew they would be, and they had everybody in here on this side of the field. Obviously, is pulling for Oak Ridge, and it's been when you're 0-5 against the team, you're in the semifinals, and what's at stake? Everybody in this stadium right now should be standing up.
Ball's at the 38-yard line. Oak Ridge, second down, about 3. Connor brings them up. 10:15 to play in the ball game. Connor will pitch again to Spencer Gulmire. Behind the blocking of Daniel Johnson, he has a first down. The flag goes down up the field once again. Not exactly sure. Surely not one of those blocks below the waist again. That'll be the 3rd time if that's the case. 10:04 to play. This time it's a hold against Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge crowd vocal with their displeasure to the call. The Wildcats lead at 14-0. There's 10:04 to play in the ball game. The Riverdale Warriors and the Oak Ridge Wildcats, 2 historic programs. The Wildcats, as I said in the newspaper, have done it over a span of 50 years. The Warriors have been dominant since the mid-90s. Ball is at the midfield stripe. It'll be 2nd and 15.
Somebody was telling me the other day they had some article in some paper that Oak Ridge had the 4th highest winning percentage of any school in the country after so many years, and 20, 30, whatever that years. You may know what that is, but I thought that's pretty impressive.
I did see that actually, and I don't remember what the publication was. The Wildcats come up, 9:47 to play, 2nd and 15. Receivers left and right, offset I once again. Hand off Daniel Johnson. Daniel Johnson trying to squirt forward. Might have gotten 4 yards on the play. If you're a Riverdale fan across the way, you sort of got to start to feel a little bit uneasy right now, as we're down to 9.5 minutes, which is an eternity in football. They're down 14-0 and really haven't even come close to scoring in this one.
That's right. And, the defense, what can you say about the defense? And the offense has had some chances, penalties. On the good part, they've not turned the ball over, but penalties right now, the holds, the illegal blocks are just absolutely killing this team.
Wildcats need about 12 yards for a first. The ball's at the Riverdale 46. 9 minutes to play in the ball game. Connor fakes the handoff, rolls to pass, might run it, needs some blocking, cuts up the field, has no place to go, and no gain on the play. That time, very good coverage down the field. He had Daryl Miller, he had J.J. Wells. Tamara Butler, Mr. Football candidate, was the man who makes the stop. We're down to 8:42 and counting. 4th down, 12 yards to go, and Ryan Kennedy, they have not put pressure on him all night long, will be facing what appears to be a 10-man rush now. 4th down, 11 yards to go. The last snap was pretty high. Let's hope Casey Reed gets a good snap back to him on a cold night. 4th and 12. Here's the snap. It's good. The punt is away. It's not very good. It's angling out of bounds, and it's going to roll dead at around the 27-yard line. The Oak Ridge crowd thought Ryan Kennedy might have been roughed a bit, but he didn't. It was very little contact, if indeed there was contact, but there was a lot of booing up here on the bank here. 8:11 to play in the ball game. Riverdale down 2 scores here, 14-0. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Their offense is on the field, moving left to right as we play in the 4th and final quarter of one of these 2 teams' season. Scott brings him up. Scott Thomas, I formation. 1 receiver split out to the right. Gaston Miller is the tailback. He's a senior going to Vanderbilt. Congratulations to him. Very prestigious school. He'll be going to Vanderbilt next year. First down, 10 yards to go for Riverdale. Thomas to pass, pumps, throws back, and the pass is caught. Good blocking. Up the field. Might have a touchdown. Down the field, 50. Makes a move, and is tackled at the 40-yard line. There's a flag back here at the 33-yard line. Flag down on the play, and I think this one's coming back. It is coming back, baby. 7:55 to play. That was a nice looking play, though.
very well set up. Actually, that's an illegal chop block on them, so it's turnabout's fair play. Once again, that's a big 15-yarder, but the quarterback drops back, and then he has one lone protector, and as the protection comes in, he pumps the ball. The protector just kind of slides out, and he had 4 or 5 different blockers in front of him. Great play. Unfortunately for the Riverdale Warriors, that ball is going back.
7 minutes, 56 seconds to play, and I know I say the time a lot, but I mean, the time is not on the side of the Riverdale Warriors. The scoreboard, 14-0 Oak Ridge, 7:56 to play. They'll walk the ball all the way back inside the 20. Some associations just see different things, and obviously that's the 3rd time they've called it in the ball game. As the Warriors come to the line, first down, 20 yards to go, 7:47 and counting, 14-0 Oak Ridge. I formation for Scott Thomas and the Riverdale Warriors. He's back to pass, cranks it up, down the field, incomplete. Defending was J.J. Wells. The intended receiver, I believe, was Philip Stevenson. It'll be 2nd down and 20 yards to go. 14-0 Oak Ridge. Scott, when are you going to feel comfortable enough to head on down to the field?
I don't know, David. Like I said, these guys are so scary. Maybe if Oak Ridge will end up, they're going to pick off a pass here and score and be up 21, I'll feel much more comfortable.
Are you a Sven Munger, kind of a soothsayer here? Well, maybe that would be a nice thing if you're a Wildcat fan. Of course, Oak Ridge's defense has been so dominant. Coach Spees doesn't like what he saw. Signals out a new defense out to Jake Vane, who is the captain of the defense. It'll be 2nd down, 20 yards to go. 7:36 to play in the ball game. 14-0 Oak Ridge. Single receiver split to the right. I formation. Scott Thomas, and flags are down. Somebody moved. I think it was a guy in white and gold and red. 5-yard step off against the Riverdale Warriors, winners of 28 consecutive ball games, the defending state champions, but they have just not executed like the typical Riverdale teams we've seen.
They've made a lot of mistakes, and of course you playing against a great defense, and that makes you kind of intensifies things and magnifies things, and you're going against a lot of pressure. They're seeing a lot of pressure. Their defense that time just got a little antsy and just jumped, and it cost them 5 more yards.
Standing room only crowd here at Blankenship Field. 2nd down, 25 yards to go for Riverdale. Now they're starting now at the 12-yard line, their own. Single receiver to the right, the pitch, no quarterback wants to pass. Cranks it up down the field, throws a wounded duck. It's going to be Revell Coffey, and you called it. Revell Coffey picks it off at the 47-yard line. Scott Munger, he's on it, baby. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
Well, I called half of it. I wanted the interception. I actually wanted the touchdown afterwards, but now Oak Ridge has got great position. Unfortunately, Riverdale has all 3 of their timeouts left. Oak Ridge has got to move the football here, David. They've got to keep the ball, hopefully keep the ball on the ground as much as they can and chew up this clock as much as they can.
14-0 Oak Ridge. For those of you listening on prepradio.com, I think there's an email address there. We'd like to know where you're listening to us tonight. dccatvoice@aol.com. It's on the Prep Radio site. Give us an email and tell us where you're listening to our broadcast tonight. The Wildcats have it 1st and 10, 7:23 to play in somebody's season. Somebody's going to play for the state championship on Saturday. Spencer Gulmire wants it to be him. He's at the 50. He's at the 45. He's at the Riverdale 40. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
There's what you need. There's one play down, great play. Just ran the kick-out play over there to the right side. Picked up a great block. Once again, Daniel Johnson, what can we say about him? We can talk about Spencer all week, all game long, but Daniel Johnson from his fullback position just opens up tremendous holes.
7 minutes, 7 seconds to play and counting. The Wildcats 1st down, 10 yards to go. Moving right to left here, J.J. Wells. Split to the right. The fullback is Daniel Johnson. The tailback is Spencer Gulmire. Connor Gulmire brings them up or under 7 minutes to play. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Connor to Spencer. Spencer reverses field, 40. Spencer Gulmire, 35, 30, down to the 29-yard line. Spencer Gulmire, 1st down, 10 yards to go, Oak Ridge.
It's another 1st down or right at it, David. Yes, it will be a 1st down. And you look across the way, David, it looks like there are a lot of people from the Riverdale side that are taking it to the house.
It's a long drive back to Murfreesboro, and some of them are headed, as Scott said, to the exits as the Wildcats have the ball at the Riverdale 28-yard line. The last time the Wildcats were shut out was 1993. They were shut out by the Riverdale Warriors at Middle Tennessee State University. Riverdale, to this point, being shut out as the Wildcats jump off sides. Wildcats jump off sides, and Tyler Lane just wanted to get an early jump and hit somebody.
Hey, Tyler, you know, Oak Ridge is out there. They're trying to wait for the last minute possible to snap the ball, and as soon as the quarterback gets out there, I don't know what Tyler heard, but he's ready to hit somebody.
Ball is resting at the 33-yard line, a 5-yard step off against Oak Ridge. The clock is wound. 6:17 to play in the ball game. 14-0. Oak Ridge on top of the Riverdale Warriors. Wildcats will either play, if they hold on, Ridgeway or Ravenwood in the state championship game next Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State University. Still 6 minutes to play, though. Oak Ridge up 14-0. First down, 15 yards to go. Handoff, Spencer Gulmire. Spencer Gulmire dives across the 25-yard line. And now the Oak Ridge line beginning to assert itself. The Riverdale Warriors, I believe, the Road Warriors, going to Cookeville a week ago, coming to Oak Ridge on this Friday night, are beginning to feel that perhaps that 28-game winning streak is about to be done as they call a timeout with 5:51 to play in the game. 14-0. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Darren Creek. We'll be back in 30 seconds. David Clary, Scott Munger back here along with Jake Heron, Michael Davis, Brian Salmonson, Josh Murray, Taylor Lane. You've heard me say those guys' names all season long. Darren Creek, of course, Aaron Vargas listening to us down in Florida. They've been with us since the beginning, all the way back to the Clinton ball game so many weeks ago, and the Wildcats 5 minutes and 51 seconds away from extending their season to the ultimate game, the last game of the year, the championship ball game. They're 5:51 away, up 14-0. They have it second down and 7 yards to go. Ball is at the 25. Handoff, Daniel Johnson. Oh, that's a big hit. Belted at the line of scrimmage. Riverdale has 2 of their timeouts remaining. Tamar Butler, Mr. Football finalist, and they use another timeout. You would think they would use their timeouts for their offense when they're down 14-0. Instead, they waste back-to-back plays, 2 timeouts, and I just can't believe that is the best coaching in the world.
Well, I don't either. I agree. You know, it brings up third down, and you look where Oak Ridge is on the field. It's 4-down territory, so it's not like they're going to force Oak Ridge into a kick right here. But you would think that they would have used the one, stop the clock, and then wait until maybe perhaps Oak Ridge were to get another first down, or just wait and see what happens. But their offense is, you have to remember, they're down 2 scores, and you would think that they'd leave some for their offense.
Who's to question the guy? He's won a ton of state titles. He's been to the state championship game 5 years in a row. But they do call a timeout. The Wildcats have it third down at about 7 yards to go. 5:46 to play in the ball game. 14-0. Oak Ridge on top. The ball, the nose of the ball is, well, actually the whole ball is across the 26-yard line, closer to the 26 than the 25, as the Wildcats have it third down, 7 yards to go. Oak Ridge trying to advance to the state championship game for the first time since 1991. Ravel Coffey drifts off to the far right. Third down, 8 yards to go. Wildcat crowd on its feet once again. Connor Gulmire under center. Connor stumbles, gives it to Spencer. Spencer's got good yardage, moves the ball across the 20, and I believe Mr. Gulmire has a first down. Well, he does have a first down. What was funny about that, Connor was falling, and I said fumble, I meant stumble. He handed it to his short midget little brother, fortunately, as he was going down. That'll be 1st and 10.
You know, David, you're probably giving a lot of people a heart attack when you said that, but he was stumbling. He's actually did a good job just to get the ball back to Spencer, and Spencer makes a great cut, just moves to his left just a little bit as he picks up the first down. Big first down. Now let's just see how Riverdale is going to use their timeouts.
Well, they've used them very poorly, I'll just tell you that. 5:19 to play in the ball game. 14-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats trying to take it in for another score and just win this ball game and head to Middle Tennessee State next week. Connor will pitch to Spencer, needs a block, didn't get it. But they only have one timeout left, and the clock is now under 5 minutes to play. They are going to use their final timeout. That is absolutely the most unbelievable strategy I have ever seen. They haven't been able to even get close to scoring in this ball game, and now they have forced their offense to score twice with under 5 minutes to play with no timeouts.
Well, not to mention the fact that, if Oak Ridge, they've got the ball second in about 11 or 12, and if they were to, let's say, use a couple of plays to get a first down here and then end up getting a first down, they can't stop the clock again. So, a couple of big plays right here may seal this victory for the Wildcats.
14-0 is our score. Oak Ridge is on top, 5:02 to play. Let's go back quickly to Darren Creek. Darren, have you heard from Kevin on a score from the Ravenwood Ridgeway ball game? Thanks a lot, Darren. So the winner of this game will play the winner of that ball game. Not familiar with either one of them. As the Wildcats have it, second down, 12 yards to go. 5 minutes to play in the ball game. I formation, Connor Gulmire. Here's the handoff to Spencer. Spencer finding a hole, finding a seam, moving the ball to the 11-yard line. Tripped up at the last moment by Philip Stevenson, and the clock will tick down. Coach Stevens and the offensive staff, they will take every bit of the time available to them on every single play because Riverdale's coach Gary Rankin has used all of his timeouts. 4:37, tick, tock, tick, talk. I don't know if that's the clock or the Riverdale fans coming down the metal bleachers heading towards their cars. Third down, 4 yards to go. Connor Gulmire brings them up, 14-0 our score. Here's the pitch to Spencer Gulmire. Spencer Gulmire, not a whole lot of room. Goes down at around the 11-yard line, and you're right. He could have very easily been pushed out of bounds. He is such a smart football player. He just drops to his knees and stays in bounds.
A great play that time by Spencer. He may have lost about a half a yard, maybe a whole yard down that play. They ran the toss sweep to the left side, and it could have very easily gone out of bounds, but right at the last minute took a knee to keep that clock going. Very smart play.
3:55 to play. One of these two teams' season is going to come to a close. The Wildcats are going to have it 4th down and 5 yards to go. Wildcats are going to wait to the last possible moment, and then they're going to use one of their timeouts, their last timeout as well. But you feel a little bit better about it because we've got 14 on our side. They've got a goose egg.
Well, they do, but I tell you what, how big is a field goal here, David? Oak Ridge, they've tried the field goal earlier and missed it, and then they had the ball down here on the 1-yard line, couldn't punch it in. Then if they end up with 17-point lead, that's obviously that is 3 score, and they have to do it with 3 minutes and 41 seconds with no timeouts.
Of course, you don't want to have the unthinkable block of a field goal, return for a score, but you're exactly right. There's 3:41 to play. If Ryan Kennedy can hit this field goal this game, I will make the prediction early. We'll go to the Wildcats, and I feel somewhat comfortable right now. I'm about 85% right now, but as long as there's 3:41 up on the clock, I'm still not quite satisfied with it, as the Wildcats will go for the field goal. Ryan Kennedy will put the block down at the 19-yard line. This is a 29-yard field goal. Casey Reed will snap. The kicker is Ryan Kennedy. The Wildcats will go for the 29-yard field goal. 3:41 to play, 4th down and 6. Casey Reed to snap. Jason Lewis to hold. The kick is on its way. It looks good. It is good. 17-0. Oak Ridge. 3:36 to play, and I think we're headed to Middle Tennessee State University.
Big kick that time. I tell you what, there was a little bit of pressure coming from his right side. I wasn't sure if he was going to get it off, and that ball just snuck right through the left side of the goalpost, but it doesn't matter. It's 3 points, and now Oak Ridge will take a 17-0 lead with 3 minutes, 36 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Riverdale has no timeouts. They have 3 minutes and 36 seconds to work magic. Miracles. I don't think even Gary Rankin has that many miracles up his sleeve. 17-0. The Wildcats are about to end a 28-game winning streak. by the Riverdale Warriors and a 5-game winning streak over Oak Ridge, as the Riverdale fans are headed back to Murfreesboro as the Wildcats have a 17-0 lead with 3:36 to play. Mike Sheehan, what a great night here at Blankenship Field.
David, it's been electric. What a great crowd we've had tonight with great excitement here at Blankenship Field, and to stop a 28-0 run to Riverdale, I couldn't be more happy for anybody in the world than I am this Oak Ridge High School football team.
Wildcats getting ready to kick off. Oak Ridge on top, 17-0. 3:36 to play. Of course, all the scoring took place in the first quarter. The first 14 points, 2 pass receptions and touchdowns, as Ryan Kennedy prepares to kick, and he pops it up towards the center of the field. They want to return this one. It's going to be fielded by Antoine Smith. He moves the ball up the field, has great running room. They kicked it right to their fastest guy. Ryan Kennedy makes the stop at the 45-yard line. That is their fastest player, Antoine Smith, 5'11", 184-pound senior. 3:26 to play in the ball game. 17-0 Oak Ridge. Riverdale fans are in a state of shock across the field.
Yeah, they're definitely in a state of shock, and over half of them are on the way to their cars right now, David. This is a big upset. You know, a lot of people down there in Middle Tennessee thought Oak Ridge did not have a chance. I really like our chances next week in Murfreesboro.
First down, 10 yards to go. Scott Thomas brings him up once again. 2 receivers split to the left. Thomas back to pass. In trouble, fires a screen pass, boom! Big stick on the receiver. He's pile drive, fumbles the football, and the Wildcats, as they come up with it, number 78 comes up with it, they really just blasted the guy, Rory File. There, it is a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Under 3 minutes to play in the game.
They just about tore him in half. You know, somebody hit him high and somebody hit him low, and they were pulling opposite directions, and that had to hurt.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. I formation. Handoff go. Another quarterback to pass. Feeling pressure from John Baldwin and Tyler Trent. Here comes Jake Vane. He annihilates him. He just kills him. Fumbles the football. Jake Vane just plastered Scott Thomas into Blankenship Field. It'll be just a huge hit for the senior. And 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the ball game. And Riverdale is headed back to Murfreesboro. And the Wildcats are going there, but we're going there Saturday for a state championship game.
Boy, what an excitement, David. This crowd came to their feet after that tackle. This is a great football game and a huge victory for the Wildcats.
3rd down and 12. Gaston Miller carries the ball up the field, moves the ball down the field. He's belted, but he picks up a 1st down inside the 30. 2 minutes and counting. Clock is stopped, 1:58 to play. Gaston Miller has had a great ball game, but he just can't do it on his own. They just don't have the great quarterback like Dave Thomas was a year ago.
That's exactly right, David. If they had him, could pass more productively, they would have really been in this game. As it was, the dark side has came to play tonight.
1st and 10, Oak Ridge. Ball's at the 27-yard line. Receivers left and right. Little screen pass out of the backfield to Miller. One-on-one. JJ can't contain him. They move the ball out of bounds. Don't hit him out of bounds. There it is. That's just absolutely terrible. You do not, the guy was going out of bounds. You do not hit him out of bounds. They'll have it 1st and goal inside the 10. 1:40 to play in the ball game. 17-0 Oak Ridge. You just do not hit somebody once they're already out of bounds. That is rule number 1. He was already going out, and it'll be 1st down, goal to go for Riverdale.
It is so hard to pull up in a situation like that, Dave. You know, the crowd is just huge, and you know his adrenaline's still up, and he wants so bad to do something, and then he makes a mistake like that. And they're going to get great field position all the way down inside about the, looks like the 6-yard line.
You know the dark side defense wants a shutout, but they've got the ball at the 6. 3 receivers to the right. Quarterback Scott Thomas. Man comes in motion. Thomas rolling the pass. Rolling. Pressured. Fires it. End zone. Intercepted. Oak Ridge. Revell Coffey has picked it off. The shutout is intact. The Wildcats will shut out Riverdale. We are going to Middle Tennessee State University as the Wildcats intercept in the end zone. 1:18 and counting, and for some reason the clock is ticking. The celebration has already started in the Oak Ridge stands. 1:10 and counting. The Wildcats, Rivell Coffey picked it off in the end zone. 17-0. The Oak Ridge crowd will play for the state championship as the Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 at the 20. For whatever reason, the clock is still wound and just ticking uncontrollably as it's been running non-stop, and he just now realized it.
Raving it out. You're right, David. There was a good 30 seconds or longer right off the clock before the officials realized the clock was still running. They're in most likelihood going to have to put time back on the clock.
There was 1:22 on the clock when he actually intercepted the pass. Oak Ridge on top, 17-0. 8 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff Saturday night at Middle Tennessee State. The Wildcats headed to Murfreesboro for the state championship ball game. The Oak Ridge crowd's going nuts. The Wildcats will shut out Riverdale. The last time Oak Ridge was shut out was in 1993. The Riverdale Warriors shut out the Wildcats. Oak Ridge, I don't know when the last time Riverdale was shut out.
Dave, do you remember last week how bad I told you I wanted us to play Riverdale, and you and Scott kind of wanted Cookeville? I am so glad we ended up with Riverdale, and I couldn't be more pleased with the outcome.
They've got 42 seconds on the clock. There should be 1:22. That's when they intercepted the pass. The Wildcats will play for the gold ball next Saturday night. But for Oak Ridge fans all over, wherever you might be listening to us on the internet, on WATO or Channel 15, plan to make your trip to Middle Tennessee State next Saturday night as the Wildcats will play either Ravenwood or Ridgeway for the state title. The Riverdale streak couldn't last forever, and it'll go down tonight. The Wildcats 0-5 against them all time. But the Wildcats are going to advance to the title game for the first time since '99. They put 1:24 on the clock, so I was pretty close. Connor's going to take a knee. They cannot stop it because Gary Rankin used all his timeouts. This game is over in 2 more snaps to the ball. Mike, great season for the Wildcats. I feel so great for this senior class. Of course, Spencer Gulmire, the heart and soul of the offense. The offensive line, I don't want to start naming off names, but they've all been great. To a man, this team has willed this team through this game, through this season. Outstanding defense, outstanding offense, and the Wildcat fans have been with them all the way along ever since the Clinton ball game, and now we've got one more hurdle to jump, and that'll be next Saturday night.
This is definitely a team football team, Dave. They have worked together both offensively and defensively to put this team away, to get to the big state championship game in Murfreesboro. Just a huge accomplishment. My hat's off to all the coaches and the players.
Riverdale's winning streak will end at 28 consecutive ball games. The Wildcats will win their 13th game tonight, 1 snap away for the state championship. It's unbelievable size crowd here at Blankenship Field. Everyone is on their feet. We're down to 14 seconds. Connor takes 1 snap, and this ball game will come to a close in 10 seconds. The Wildcats have stormed the field. Oak Ridge counting it down. 3, 2, 1. Oak Ridge is headed to Middle Tennessee State University to play for the state championship Saturday night. They have beaten the Riverdale Warriors 17-0 here at Blankenship Field, and they will play for the big gold ball on Saturday.
David, someone took the sign down up there off the fence that says the Gulmire show was over, and they're carrying it down the field, and all it says now is Gulmire show. And pandemonium reigns on Blankenship Field as the Wildcats win the semifinals 17-0.
I believe it's the Gaston Miller show, which now comes to a close here at Blankenship. Great run for Riverdale. Big melee down on the field. Let me hand the microphone. Well, let's take a quick break so we can set up for the player interviews. The Wildcats have won 17-0. Hopefully we'll have some player interviews in a moment. We're at Blankenship Field, 17-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats have won here at Blankenship. It won't work.
Thank you for letting me go, Mark.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you.
Breaks my heart.
Will be a punt?
Yeah.
Where's that?
He'll back there still.
Hey, turn on my screen for me. No, that's not. There you go. Back here on AM AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. We're also on the internet, prepradio.com. Stanton Stevens is down on the field talking with the Wildcats, and here in a moment we'll try to go down to the field and get some player interviews from Scott Munger. The Riverdale fans swarmed their team as well. Riverdale's had a great run. Had to win sometime. This is their first ever loss in the semifinals.
I know it, and that's another big milestone for the Wildcats, David. How great is that to beat a team you've never beat before? You're 0-5. They have to come to your house, and to win it in such a fantastic crowd, David. I don't know how many people were here, but this is the most people I've seen here in years. It was a great crowd, very vocal, and way more people pulling for Oak Ridge than I expected. Like Scott Munger said earlier, I saw people tonight from all over East Tennessee and Upper East Tennessee down here to watch this game tonight, and what a great game they saw, especially being a Wildcat man.
As we look down at the two different teams, it's just such a big difference between the Riverdale huddle down on the field. They are in prayer right now. The Wildcats are in jubilation as the Wildcats, along with their fans, students, parents, supporters, on Thanksgiving have come to Blankenship Field, and the Wildcats have beaten Riverdale 17-0. And we appreciate you listening to our broadcast wherever you might be tonight, in Oak Ridge, on Channel 15 or WATO, or on the internet, prepradio.com. The Wildcats will play for the state championship for the first time since 1991, and the Wildcats will go for their 9th football state championship.
Wow, how big is that? How many teams in the state would like to say that, David? They're going for their 9th straight championship, and I so hope they can win that game next week down in Murfreesboro.
Against either Ravenwood or Ridgeway. We know nothing about them. All I know is Coach Joe Gaddis's Henry County team played Ridgeway to start the season. Bruce Lucer's team scrimmaged Ravenwood in a preseason scrimmage. Wildcats are just jumping up and down. Oak Ridge has defeated Riverdale 17-0. We'll be talking to Stanton Stevens. We'll have player interviews down on the field. Jake Herron will have the statistics, the final statistics of this one, as the conversation is along. And I hesitate to hand you the mic, Jake, because as soon as I do that, we'll try to get those staticky player interviews down on the, as once again somebody has said something else, the Wildcats are going to middle, and they're excited about it. And congratulations to Coach Stevens, his staff, the seniors, the entire Wildcat team, and the Wildcat, I hate to say nation, but tonight it looked like an entire nation here at Blankenship. And you feel sorry for the Riverdale team, but you know, I tell you, 5 times we've watched Oak Ridge walk off after a Riverdale ball game, and what a run they've had, 28 straight wins, and you know, you can't win them all. Unfortunately, if you're an Oak Ridge fan, got a chance to host them and shut them out. And I would love to know, Mike, see if you can find out somebody from Riverdale when the last time the Warriors were shut out in a ball game. 17-0 is the final score here. And I believe we'll go down to the field. If you'll turn up mic number 3, we will go down to Scott Munger and see if he's got some player interviews. Let's go down to the field.
First of all, you look at that scoreboard, Spencer, 17-0. It's not the biggest game that's been on the field.
To win at home, I mean, it ranks up there with the best of the game. I mean, just the best thing about it is you look up there underneath visitor, you see a big 0.
Absolutely. We were just thinking, I don't know the stat, but I know it's been a long time since this Riverdale team has been shut out. And this defense, and talk about offense in a second, but this defense cannot say enough about it.
That's all you need to talk about is our defense. They came out here tonight, proved something right there tonight to everybody across the state that there is no better defense than us. Oak Ridge, and I mean, you just got to give it to all of them. Jake, Vane, have a heck of a job and just a great year so far at linebacker.
Absolutely. Of course, it's been a long time. It's been, I guess, 14 years since an Oak Ridge team has gone to the state championship. Since you've been here for 4 years, I know you're walking down the steps. You know it's your last time, win or lose. You can't ask for a better performance for a team and for yourself in this situation.
Well, as a team, this is just, I mean, we played so great. This is the best we played all year. Collectively as a whole, we came out early just like we wanted to. Get up on them quick and let me know we are for business.
Spencer, I want to be the first to congratulate you on just a fantastic, not only a season, a career. We've got one more game left. We don't know. It's either going to be Ravenwood or Ridgeway. And I think right now it was 14-10. Don't even know who's winning. Doesn't really matter. I know you guys will be on the turf at Murfreesboro 1 week or more night.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We'll worry about them now. I mean, whoever comes out on the top, I mean, it doesn't really matter because once Oak Ridge is the championship, we know we don't lose.
I'll tell you what, Spencer, once again, fantastic ball game, fantastic year, fantastic career. We just have, everybody here has just thoroughly enjoyed watching you. One more time, we can do it.
Oh, most definitely. it's something great.
Thanks a lot, Spencer. Appreciate you coming to see me. Casey Reed. Casey, first of all, the defense just played unbelievable ball this week.
Hey, you know, offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And, you know, we came out, shut out a high-scoring team, you know, and they did their job. And, you know, bend, don't break. We just played awesome.
I know, of course, special teams look great. I know you're a big key in all the special teams. One of the things I really thought set the tone was the first time we kicked off to them, you come up and make a big play on the kickoff.
Right, well, you know, that's my main objective is just get down there. And I was planning on hitting the wall, but they opened up for me a little bit, and I just went for it. I had to dive his legs and got him, but I couldn't do it without the other 10 guys out there. You know, Andrew Kirkpatrick, Miller was tripping around his feet, and Kirkpatrick came down there and just finished it off. And all those, you know, the other 10 guys that are out there with me, they're a major part.
You know, one of the things I've noticed, I know you're not playing as much defense as you did last year. You're a key part of this team, and you're really the leader of this team, if you ask me.
Well, you know, I do what I can when I can, and I figure if everyone does their jobs, you know, then that's all we need to do. You know, and if we keep winning like this and I don't play defense, I could care less.
Hey, absolutely, just a fantastic. How much fun was this? You know, you're walking down the steps. You know it's your last time to walk down the steps, win or lose. Can you think of a better way to go out than this one?
Not at all, man. This has made my high school career by far. Unless we win state, then that's cool too.
Well, you got one more step. Obviously, that's a bit. You know, you see the Riverdale guys. You see them walking up. That's a long walk up those steps. Even longer drive back to Murfreesboro. You've been on the other end of that a few times.
I have, and it's not a fun ride to have. But you know, they came in kind of cocky, kind of running their mouths, and I'm glad they have to take the ride this year, not us.
Absolutely. I'll tell you another thing. Now it is. But once again, next week we're going to Murfreesboro. You get to play on the turf. Big arena, big stadium. A lot of fun. Don't know who we're going to play. It doesn't really matter at this point.
It doesn't. And I just hope everyone comes down there to Murfreesboro. I know it's a long drive, but we'll do everything we can to make it worth the while.
Now, the biggest question of the night now, I know we talked. You got your paints ready, and you're going to do whatever to my head, right?
Right. I'm working up the designs as we speak.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to. And when will this ceremony take place?
I don't know. I'll have my people call your people. We'll do a lunch.
All right. I appreciate it, Casey. Certainly exuberant down here on the field. You look at Jake Vane. Jake, defense. Man, oh man, what in the world? What else can you say about the dark side defense?
And that's what they call us the dark side for. You know, they came in here, we hit him in the mouth and shut him down.
You really did. Gaston Miller, a scary running back. You know, he's just so quick. But you guys really held him in check. Had that one long run right before halftime. He's scary, but you guys held him out of the end zone.
He is scary, but we got such great coaches that they can, you know, go in on the weekends and break down film and show us their tendencies and show us what they want to do. So it's easy for us to come out here and execute.
Fantastic ball game. Defense just incredible. You bend a little bit. It looks like, you know, you're up 14, and then it looks like, you know, maybe they score here. They're going to get some momentum. You never wilted.
We just had to bow our neck, you know, come out here and stop them. It's just what we had to do, and we stepped up to it.
You know, I've asked the other two guys, you know, you're walking down the steps. I know it's your last game as a senior, walking down the steps, regardless, win or lose. You can't help but be ready. You're playing a team that you're 0-5 against. There's no way in the world you can't be ready to play this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have words right now. It's just so great to beat them, and especially my final game as a senior on Blankenship Field. It's just awesome.
One more to go, though. One more big one.
That's right. This doesn't matter unless we win next week, and that's our ultimate goal.
Absolutely. Jake, once again, fine career, fine year, and what a great ball game.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down. Ravel, what a ball game. You know, the defense looked great. I think you had 2 picks and a fumble recovery. Is that right? And, you know, big thing, too. I know we're up 14-0, and I believe it's a punt return. You've got great field position. We just can't get the ball in the end zone there at the end.
I don't know what was going on. We just kept pushing and trying not to turn the ball over, like throwing it, or we just was trying to move the ball down the field.
Well, in the offense, it worked well at times, but, you know, this game obviously was won by the defense. The offense put up 17, which is good enough, obviously, to win, but the defense, you guys played great back there. Quarterback had a hard night throwing the ball.
Yeah, he did. Like, Coach, all through the week, he said we got to stop Gaston Miller, but then when he tried to throw, we just made him pay for it every time.
He really did. A lot of pressure on him every time he'd get back there to throw, and the receivers did a good job of getting open sometimes, but he just couldn't find them.
Yeah, he couldn't see really much with a big defensive lineman in his face. It's hard to throw the ball.
Absolutely. Once again, fantastic ball game. Next week, we get to play Saturday. One of those nice Saturday games. It's going to be on TV, of course, and it's for the ring.
Yeah, it is. We got to win that one. That's the most important one. You know, I done wished for this one. I'm just glad to go down there.
How about the crowd tonight?
God, there was a lot of people. I couldn't even see the grass over there on the field, the hill, you know.
Unbelievable, and they were loud. They were into it. Just a great crowd. Best Oak Ridge crowd, and they were vocal the whole game.
Yeah, I thought when I was here as a sophomore, it was a big crowd, but tonight it was a real big crowd.
It really was. Riverdale, once again, fantastic ball game. Good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome. Once again, 17-0 over the Riverdale Warriors. Oak Ridge is heading to the ship.
Coach Stevens to join us here. He, the victorious head coach. Coach, congratulations. I'll let you sit and I'll just ramble a little bit. We've been talking for a while here, and we were going to wait as long as it took for you to get up here. But your guys are headed to Murfreesboro to play for the state championship. It's been since 1991 since an Oak Ridge team got that opportunity. Riverdale has never lost a semifinal round game until tonight, so Oak Ridge has never beaten Riverdale. What can you say? Your defense was fantastic, shutting out Riverdale. Nobody, even from Murfreesboro, can remember the last time they were shut out. So that's a great accomplishment for Coach Spees and the group. You came out, hit them like, you know, a ton of bricks there in the first with the pass plays, got up 14-0. I think they were expecting Oak Ridge to go left and right with the toss sweep. You hit them with the long pass plays, and they never recovered.
David, first off, let me say I've been blessed tremendously to be in this position, and to be able to come home, lead the best program in the state of Tennessee. That's a blessing, and you know, I just, you know, I'm overwhelmed right now, just thinking about, you know, what's happening here. You know, it's almost like a Hollywood script somebody's written for us, and it's going our way right now. The ball's bouncing our direction. Our defense makes plays when they have to. You know, I said it last week before last. Rob Spees has done an outstanding job. Who would have thought we would have a guy to step in for, you know, arguably the best defensive coordinator ever to coach here, and Coach Lucier, defensive mind like that, and we got another guy that comes right in behind him, and in his own right is putting a stamp on his coaching ability with a shutout of a team that, I mean, I'm willing to bet Gary Rankin has never been shut out. I don't know, you know, it's just a storybook, you know, blessing, and heck, I don't know what to say, David. Just, I mean, my goodness, we're on the way back to the state championship, and I said it all night. Our goal was not to just beat Riverdale. Our goal was to win the state championship. We haven't done that yet. You know, beating Riverdale along the way, we've collected some good wins. I always like to beat Clinton. I always like to beat Kingsport. Love to beat Jefferson County, and then beat Farragut twice. So, you know, and then to be able to knock off Riverdale. Heck, Jefferson County and Riverdale have been our two biggest playoff nemesis in the history of Oak Ridge football, and we beat both of them this season. That is a testament to the will and the determination of our kids to become champions again. Through the hard work and the dedication of our coaching staff, Dr. Bailey and Miss Irvin and Coach Carringer. The administrative support that we get is second to none. If you look down at the field, Mike Laurendine and Jeff Meredith, I mean, we get taken care of. They do the things that you expect should be done in a championship program. The list of thanking people goes on and on. The list of players, and speaking of players, Spencer Gulmire and Revell Coffey, if they're not two of the best 25, they're not in the top 25 best players in the state of Tennessee, there is something wrong with the state of, with whoever's picking these guys and evaluating these guys, they're blind. Number 2 and number 1 can flat out play football, and as they showed tonight, Spencer made it to the corner and turned it. Revell caught a short pass and outran the whole Riverdale football team. What else do they need to do to show that they're athletic? I don't know. Those two guys can flat out play football, and when you talk about a big game and your stars stepping up in a big game, well, heck, that's what they did. So those young men should have nothing to prove to any college recruiter or scout. Look at this tape, and it should show what kind of caliber football players those two are.
Coach, your senior class, let's not single out anybody. We've got a long, fun week ahead of us here. You're going to an extra day to prepare because you're playing on Saturday, either against Ridgeway or against Ravenwood. It was very close, and that game's still going on in Tennessee. I know you'll have a good scouting report on that. You'll watch the tapes. Both former head coaches, Coach Lucier scrimmaged them, Coach Gaddis played them. Coach Gaddis is at the game right now. So you'll have a lot of friendly Oak Ridgers that might be able to help you over the week.
And guess what? I'll listen to all of those guys. I talked to Coach Lucier before the game. He was up on the hill. Coach Gaddis called me before the game. I talked to both of those guys. You know, it's nice to know that you can call on those guys and draw from them. You know, high-quality individuals, great coaches, and, you know, they're gone, and they still want to see Oak Ridge successful. Once Oak Ridge gets into your blood, it stays in your blood. That's evident by, you know, Coach Gaddis and Coach Lucier's passion for us to still win. And, you know, they were rooting for the team and the boys, and, you know, they wanted us to knock off Riverdale just as bad as anybody else.
Coach, what can you say about this crowd? The bank was just so packed with people, and the Oak Ridge crowd was in it from the start of the game. They didn't sit on their hands. They were into it. The Booster Club had all those jugs with the BBs, but that bank was just packed with people. What did it look like when you turned around and looked at it?
Dave, I turned and looked back, and I thought, 1980 state championship game against Germantown. I'm 10 years old. I'm on the bank, and I'm running up and down the bank, dodging in and out of the people. And, you know, like I said, it's overwhelming, David. I mean, can you be blessed any more than what we're blessed with right now? You know, I go from running up and down the bank to running up and down the field to coaching. You know, what else can I say?
All I know is I'm going to have a bad hair day on Wednesday.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you, next Saturday night I'm going to have a good hair day.
Coach, once again, congratulations, 17-0, the final score. Just your final comments about this win.
Thank you, you know, just to everybody who supported us and who's believed in this team and these boys, and all the people that make the tradition of Oak Ridge football what it is. We really are appreciative of all of that. Thank you.
Coach, have a great weekend. I know you will.
Thank you, David.
Coach Stanton Stevens, head coach of the Wildcats, 17-0. The final score, Oak Ridge defeats Riverdale and is heading back to the state championship game for the first time since 1991. Mike, I'll let you have one final comment. We're going to miss you next Saturday. I know you'd love to be there with us, but Mike's unable to go, and you know, he's a former Wildcat too. Just what's your final comment?
I'm just happy, David. You know, I've never been more proud of a team in my life than I have this team. You know, I wasn't with the broadcast team the last time in 1991 when they went. I can't go this year, but I have a very good reason for staying home. And I'm proud of them. Thank you, David.
Scott, 17-0. The Wildcats over the Riverdale Warriors. Anything else to say?
Well, you know, we've done this now for, I always forget, 13, 14 years, and we've been close. And one of the goals that I've had, you know, I want to go to one of these big stadiums with a really nice press box. And you know what? We get to do that. By golly, next week, you know, we'll be there, and I'm happy for these guys, and I'm happy, you know, that you and I get to do that together, and it's been a fun year.
Well, let's close it out here. Darren's got a highlight show. Hopefully he's got a few. He's got some scores of other ball games, including Ravenwood and Ridgeway. Once again, the final score, Oak Ridge defeats the Riverdale Warriors here at Blankenship Field to close out their home schedule. Wildcats are 13-1. They're playing for the state championship on Saturday. Stay tuned for the highlight show. I'd like to thank everyone who made the broadcast possible. Jay Kern, our statistician tonight, he had to do 2 basketball games with me as well, so it's been a full night for himself and myself, really. Our camera personnel, we've got Taylor Lane, Michael Davis, Josh Murray, Brian Salmonson. We'd like to thank Mike Sheehan once again. I'd like to thank Darren Creek and everyone who's made our broadcast possible. Of course, Scott Munger, Nick Suttles, here's Justin Pace, and we might as well give him a little credit too. The Wildcats win the ball game 17-0. For all the people, we're going to the state championship game on Saturday. We'll hope you'll get and come on down to Middle Tennessee State. This is David Clary saying so long, everybody.